Close your eyes, take a deep, slow breath, and let the weight of the day drift away. Imagine for a moment that the world around you has grown quiet. The constant hum of technology, the flashing lights of screens, the relentless pace of modern life, all of it fades into the background. You are stepping back in time, not to a place of grand battles or thundering history, but to the warmth of a humble kitchen, a kitchen lit by the soft glow of a low-hanging lamp, where the scent of something simple and sustaining hangs in the air. What does it feel like to exist when resources are measured by the gram and a single spoonful of sugar is a treasure to be guarded? Tonight we are going to explore the quiet, resilient heart of the home front during the Second World War. This is not a story of the front lines. It is a story of the kitchen table, a place where the real, silent work of survival was done. As we walk through this history together, let your mind become calm, rhythmic and still. There is no urgency here, only the soft, steady pulse of daily life in a time of great change. You might wonder, how did people find the strength to care for their families when so much of the world felt uncertain? It wasn't found in grand gestures, but in the small, repetitive and deeply human acts of measuring, stirring and preparing. It was in the meticulous planning of a meal, the quiet adaptation to what was available, and the profound resilience found in the simple act of feeding those you love. As we drift through these memories, imagine the sound of a wooden spoon against a ceramic bowl, the soft scratch of a pencil on a ration book, and the quiet comfort of a home that chooses to keep going, one meal at a time. This journey is meant for your rest and reflection. There is no need to focus on dates or figures. Simply let the atmosphere wash over you. Let the imagery of the past become a backdrop for your own peace. The channel Sleepy History with Kevin is a storytelling platform created for entertainment, inspiration, education, and the promotion of positive emotional values. In the dim light of the early morning, the day begins with a ritual that has become as familiar as the ticking of the clock. On the wooden table lies a small, modest book. It is not a diary, nor a ledger of grand accounts, but something far more vital. It is the ration book. To hold it is to hold the pulse of the household's survival. With a gentle touch, you open the pages, the paper thin and slightly yellowed, carrying the faint scent of ink and history. Each coupon, neatly printed and awaiting its turn, represents more than just a quantity of goods. It represents a promise of stability in an era that feels as though it is shifting beneath one's feet. You pick up a pencil, the lead is worn, and you move with a deliberate, slow grace. There is no room for haste here. You are calculating how much tea remains in the tin, how many grams of butter are left for the week. This mental arithmetic is a form of meditation. It is an act of quiet defiance against uncertainty. You aren't just counting calories or portions, you are weaving a tapestry of care. You think of the family sitting at the table, the need for warmth, the need for something that tastes like comfort, even when ingredients are scarce. The world outside may be vast and turbulent, but here, in the kitchen, your world is contained and manageable. You decide to make a simple stew, perhaps thickening it with the last of the oatmeal instead of flour. It is a small choice, but it requires thought and presence of mind. As you plan, you notice the way the morning light catches the dust motes dancing in the air. The kitchen is still, the house is quiet. There is a profound sense of purpose in these moments of preparation. You are the architect of your family's comfort, building a shelter out of nothing more than imagination, patience, and a handful of humble ingredients. Listen to the stillness. It is not empty. It is full of intention. Every mark you make in your notebook is a testament to the fact that life continues, that the cycle of nourishment remains unbroken. You set the book aside, the plan firmly in your mind, and you feel a gentle satisfaction. You have looked at what you have, and you have found it to be enough. And in this realization there is a deep, anchoring peace that allows you to breathe more deeply, to settle further into your own quiet space, and to prepare for the simple, beautiful work of the day ahead. With the plan firmly settled, the work of the day begins in earnest. Today the challenge is one of transformation. You reach into the pantry and your eyes scan the shelves looking for possibilities. Some things are simply not available. The rich, cream-coloured butter, the fine white flour, the aromatic spices that once arrived from distant lands, but in their absence a quiet, creative spirit begins to stir. You pick up a handful of dried herbs from the garden, their scent still holding the faint memory of a sunny afternoon, and you begin to think of ways to bring depth to a simple vegetable broth. This is the alchemy of the home front. You learn that a parsnip, when roasted just right, can offer a subtle, earthy sweetness that feels almost indulgent. You learn that oats can be toasted until they take on a nutty complexity, a grounding presence in a morning porridge. It is a slow, methodical process. You are not rushing. You are observing. You watch how the water begins to shimmer as it nears a boil, how the colours of the vegetables brighten as they meet the heat. There is a gentle, rhythmic sound to the slicing of carrots, a soft thud against the wooden board that serves as the heartbeat of the kitchen. You recall the way things used to be, but you do not dwell on the loss. Instead, you focus entirely on the present. You are testing a new substitution, perhaps using a small amount of mashed potato to lighten a savoury loaf, or adding a pinch of dried savoury to give a dish an unexpected warmth. Every decision is small, yet it feels significant. It is a quiet dialogue between you and the ingredients at hand. You are teaching yourself that beauty and sustenance are not defined by the abundance of the pantry, but by the intention behind the meal. As the aroma fills the room, a scent that is humble, earthy, and unmistakably home, you feel a sense of accomplishment. It is a soft internal victory. You have taken the limitations of the world and turned them into a quiet, nourishing reality. The steam rises in slow, graceful curls, swirling toward the ceiling, carrying with it the quiet pride of someone who knows how to make something out of almost nothing. You stand there for a moment, simply breathing in the atmosphere you have created, finding that even in times of scarcity, there is a way to cultivate a sense of plenty. The afternoon sun moves slowly across the kitchen floor, casting long, soft shadows that stretch toward the pantry door. This is the time for preservation. It is a slow, rhythmic task that demands your full attention, a quiet anchoring to the seasons. You have gathered the last of the autumn root vegetables and the fruit that ripened just in time. These are not merely groceries. They are a bridge to the colder, leaner months that lie ahead. You wash each item with gentle, deliberate movements, the cool water soothing against your hands. There is a sense of timelessness in this work, a connection to generations who have stood in kitchens just like this one, preparing for the quiet turn of the year. You prepare the jars, sterilizing them until they sparkle in the fading light. The air is filled with the scent of damp earth and the sweet, concentrated aroma of simmering fruit. You fill the glass, tapping the sides to ensure there are no air bubbles, sealing each one with a metal lid that clicks with a satisfying final sound. This is the rhythm of survival, a quiet, steady process of turning the fleeting abundance of the present into the enduring security of the future. You are not worried, you are prepared. There is a profound peace in knowing that you have done what you can to ensure there will be enough, that the hearth will remain warm, and the table will continue to provide. As you line the finished jars on the shelves, the light catches the colours inside, the deep amber of preserved plums, the vibrant orange of carrots, the muted greens of beans. They look like treasures, small beacons of light in the dim storage room. You stand back to admire the display, feeling a quiet pride swell within you. This is what it means to care for a household. It is not always about the grand gestures, but the sum of these small, persistent acts. You wipe your hands on your apron, feeling the slight weariness in your shoulders, but it is a good, honest tiredness. The kitchen is settling down for the evening, the stove cooling, the jars resting in their rows, everything in its rightful place. All stories on this channel, Sleepy History with Kevin, are fictional. thoughtfully crafted around historical themes and inspired by real events, figures, and periods, reimagined for engaging storytelling. The content does not represent real individuals, actual events. Any resemblance to real people, animals, or events is purely coincidental. The evening has arrived, bringing with it a soft indigo light that settles over the garden. Inside, the kitchen has transformed into a sanctuary of warmth. A simple soup is simmering on the stove, the gentle bubbling sound acting as a rhythmic lullaby that permeates the small, cozy room. You have set the table with the same care you would use for a feast, even if the plates hold only a modest portion of what you could find. It is the act of gathering, the quiet shared look across the table, and the slow, deliberate pace of the meal that turns these humble ingredients into something deeply nourishing. As the steam rises, carrying the comforting scent of savoury herbs and slow-cooked vegetables, you feel the day's tensions slowly unravelling here. In this quiet space there is no need for pretense or excess. There is only the comfort of the present moment. You listen to the soft clinking of cutlery, the gentle murmurs of the household, and you realise that contentment is not found in what we have, but in how we choose to experience it. You are safe here. You are cared for. The world outside may be vast and uncertain, but within these four walls there is a steady, unwavering sense of peace. If you are finding peace in these quiet stories of the past and wish to journey further into the heart of history, please consider subscribing to the channel. Your presence helps this little corner of the world grow, allowing us to continue crafting these gentle, restorative experiences for your rest. You might also like to leave a comment below, sharing what small rituals bring you comfort at the end of your own day. Your thoughts are a valued part of this community, helping to weave our collective story together. The fire in the stove flickers, casting a golden glow on the walls, and you lean back, letting the warmth soak into your bones. This is a moment to hold on to, a reminder that no matter what the world demands, there will always be a place for stillness, for nourishment, and for the quiet, resilient joy of coming home to a meal prepared with love. Let the silence of the evening wrap around you like a soft blanket, and as you finish your meal, let your mind drift toward the gentle rest that awaits you when the stars are high above. As the afternoon light begins to wane, casting long amber fingers across the kitchen table, you find a moment of respite. This is the hour for mending. A basket sits by your side, filled with the soft worn fabrics of daily life, a sock with a thinning heel, a napkin that has seen many years of service, an apron that has protected so many meals. You pick up a needle and thread, the metal cool and smooth against your fingertips. There is a profound, meditative silence in this work. You are not repairing just a piece of cloth. You are honouring the longevity of things, choosing to cherish what you have rather than seeking the new. You begin to stitch, the needle moving in a steady, rhythmic pattern, in and out, in and out. The sound is almost imperceptible, a soft, whispering friction that seems to harmonise with the slow ticking of the clock on the wall. Your movements are intentional, guided by a steady hand and a calm heart. Each stitch is a small act of devotion, a way of saying that the items in your home are worthy of care. As you focus on the needle's path, the noise of the world outside, the distant hum of an engine, the rustle of leaves against the window pane seems to recede, becoming nothing more than background ambience to your own inner quiet. The fabric feels soft and familiar beneath your hands, holding the faint, clean scent of sun-dried laundry. You find yourself lost in the process, your thoughts slowing down, aligning with the pace of your hands. It is a peaceful, introspective time. You reflect on the history of these objects, the days they have witnessed, the warmth they have provided. There is a deep, grounding satisfaction in restoring something to its purpose. You are not just fixing a tear, you are ensuring that your household remains whole, that the warmth of your home is preserved through your own small, steady efforts. The light dims further, deepening into a rich, velvety twilight. You continue to stitch, the repetitive motion lulling you into a state of near-dreamy contentment. Your posture is relaxed, your breathing deep and even. The room around you feels safe, protected, and entirely your own. Here in the fading light, there is no pressure to be anywhere else or to do anything more. You are simply present, inhabiting this moment of quiet repair, finding beauty in the simple act of keeping life together, one small, deliberate thread at a time. The morning mist still clings to the edges of the garden. As you step outside, the cool air crisp against your skin. This is a quiet space away from the hum of the village and the reminders of the world's uncertainty. Here the earth feels solid and reliable. You walk along the narrow, winding paths between the raised beds, observing the slow, steady progress of the plants. There is a deep, unspoken language between the gardener and the soil, a recognition of the cycles that govern all things. You are looking for what the land has offered up today, searching for the small, hidden treasures that will grace your kitchen table. Your fingers brush against the leaves of a kale plant, cool and slightly waxy, and you notice the sturdy resistance of a handful of root vegetables waiting just beneath the surface. You pull them gently, feeling the earth crumble away to reveal the clean, vibrant colour of a beet or a carrot. It is a humble discovery, yet it feels significant. Each vegetable is a promise of nourishment, a gift returned from the care you have invested over the months. There is no urgency in this harvest. You take only what is needed, leaving the rest to continue its slow, quiet growth. It is a practice of restraint, a lesson in trusting that there will be enough if one is patient and mindful. You carry your harvest back to the kitchen, the weight of the basket comfortable against your hip. The soil still clings to the roots, a reminder of the earth's generosity. As you wash the produce under the cool, running water, you are washing away more than just dirt. You are clearing the way for the transformation to come. The kitchen fills with the scent of fresh earth and green life, a clean and grounding fragrance that seems to settle the mind and soothe the spirit. You feel a profound connection to this cycle of growth and harvest, an ancient rhythm that has sustained humanity through all manner of storms. The world may be in flux, but here, in the quiet exchange between the gardener and the garden, there is a constant, steady truth. You feel your heartbeat slowing, your breathing falling into a natural rhythmic pace. You are grounded, rooted in the present, finding deep comfort in the simple fact of being alive and able to participate in the act of providing. The house is still, the sun is beginning to warm the windowsill, and you are ready to turn these humble gifts into a meal that reflects the peace and resilience of your home. The evening air is cooling rapidly, and from your window you can see the faint, welcoming glow from the neighbour's kitchen down the lane. In times of scarcity, the boundaries between households seem to grow more porous, more gentle. You have prepared a bit more than you strictly need tonight, a simple vegetable bake perhaps, or a loaf of bread that turned out better than expected. There is a quiet, natural impulse to share. You wrap the dish in a clean cloth, the heat radiating through the fabric, and step out into the dusk. The path is familiar. The crunch of gravel beneath your boots, a rhythmic, grounding sound in the stillness of the twilight. When you arrive, the door opens and there is a shared look of understanding, a silent acknowledgement that we are all in this together, all navigating the same quiet currents of life. You sit for a few moments, the conversation soft and unhurried. There is no need for grand stories, just the comfort of another person's presence. You talk of the garden, the weather, the small successful adaptations you've made in your own kitchens. In this exchange you find that the weight of your own concerns becomes lighter. Sharing a meal, even a modest one, is a profound act of social preservation. It reminds you that no one is truly alone, and that our collective resilience is built upon these small daily acts of kindness. If you're enjoying these moments of historical reflection and wish to support our mission of bringing peace and educational storytelling to your screen, please consider hitting the like button or sharing this video with someone who might appreciate a calm, restful moment. Your support is the very heartbeat of this channel, allowing us to keep crafting these immersive journeys into the past. We are deeply grateful for your presence in our community, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to stay connected with our upcoming stories. Together, we are creating a sanctuary of calm in a busy world, one story at a time. Returning home, the house feels warmer than when you left. The act of giving has left you feeling nourished in a way that food alone cannot provide. The stars are beginning to emerge, pinpricks of soft light in the vast, darkening sky. You sit by the window for a moment, watching the night descend, feeling a deep, quiet gratitude for the simple connections that make life sustainable. The world may be filled with grand, loud events, but here, in the quiet lane between your home and your neighbours, there is a soft, steady pulse of human connection that is enough to carry you through the night, deep into a restful, dreamless sleep. As the evening settles into a deep, velvety quiet, you find yourself drawn to the small wooden chest on the top shelf of the pantry. Inside, tucked away beneath layers of soft linen, lies a weathered notebook. Its edges are softened by time, the paper thin and yellowed, and the ink, once bold and dark, has faded to a gentle sepia tone. This is the family's repository of wisdom. Opening it, you are greeted by the delicate, familiar handwriting of those who came before you. Each page is a testament to a life lived, a collection of kitchen secrets passed down with love and intention. You trace the lines of a recipe for a simple porridge, noting the small handwritten adjustments in the margins. Add a pinch more for cold mornings, or this is best when the fire is low. These aren't just instructions. They are snippets of advice from a mother, a grandmother, or an aunt, captured in a moment of quiet care. Reading these words feels like a conversation across time. You are not just preparing a meal, you are continuing a legacy. The act of cooking becomes an act of remembrance, a way to keep the warmth of past generations alive in your own kitchen. There is a profound comfort in this continuity, a realization that you are part of a long, unbroken chain of resilience. As you flip through the pages, the house seems to hold its breath. The silence is thick, comforting, and filled with the ghosts of gentle laughter and quiet conversation. You imagine the hands that once held this pen, the thoughtful faces that once leaned over this very table, pondering how to make the best of a sparse pantry. They too knew the weight of uncertainty, and yet they found the grace to create beauty and sustenance. You feel a sense of kinship with them, a shared understanding that transcends the years. You are not alone in your quiet labour, you are supported by the wisdom they left behind. You decide to choose a recipe for tomorrow, something simple, something that feels like a hug. You mark the page with a small piece of ribbon and gently close the book, the soft thud of the cover feeling like a seal on a sacred promise. The air in the kitchen feels warmer, more substantial, and your mind is clear. There is no need for complexity or excess. Tomorrow's task is set, grounded in the traditions that have sustained your family through the ages. You stand in the soft shadows, feeling a deep, abiding peace, ready to let go of the day's burdens and slip into the gentle, restorative embrace of sleep. The afternoon sky has turned a soft slate grey, and a gentle, persistent rain begins to tap against the window pane. It is the kind of day that asks for nothing but your presence. Inside, the world feels small and perfectly contained. The sound of the rain is a rhythmic, hypnotic lullaby, muffling the noises of the outside world until all that remains is the soft, comforting ticking of the clock and the steady, low hiss of the stove. You pull your shawl a little tighter around your shoulders, feeling the pleasant contrast between the cool, damp air outside and the dry, lingering warmth of the kitchen. There is a unique, quiet magic to these days. The urgency of the world feels light years away, replaced by a slow, deliberate pace. You find yourself moving with even greater ease, stirring a pot of simmering root vegetables, the steam rising in lazy, graceful ribbons that catch the dim light of the afternoon. You are not just cooking, you are creating a haven. The simplicity of the meal you are preparing mirrors the simplicity of the moment. It is enough to be here, to be dry, to be warm, and to be engaged in the quiet, essential work of keeping the hearth alive. Before we drift further into the stillness of this story, if you have found comfort in these historical reflections, we invite you to take one final step with us. Please consider subscribing to our channel and turning on notifications. By joining us, you are helping to build this quiet community of thoughtful listeners, allowing us to continue sharing these stories of resilience and grace. Your support truly sustains this project, enabling us to keep these peaceful, sleep-friendly narratives alive for all who need a moment of calm. We thank you for being a part of this journey and for letting these stories be a part of your own evening rest. The rain continues its gentle percussion, a soothing backdrop to your thoughts. You feel a deep, grounding sense of contentment wash over you, a quiet joy that stems from the realization that even in the midst of uncertainty, there is beauty to be found in the mundane. The kitchen is a sanctuary, the rain is a protector, and you are exactly where you need to be. As the daylight fades into the soft velvet gloom of evening, you let yourself sink into the comfort of this stillness, allowing the rhythm of the rain to guide you toward a state of profound restorative peace. As you move through your daily tasks, your hand lingers on the edge of a favorite ceramic bowl. It is not perfect. A small chip along the rim, sustained years ago, tells a quiet story of a busy morning, a hurried hand, and a moment that has long since passed. In any other time, it might have been set aside, deemed unworthy of the table. But here, in the gentle rhythm of wartime life, it is cherished. These worn objects are not symbols of decline. They are medals of endurance. They have survived, just as you have. There is a deep, quiet comfort in using items that have held generations of meals, each one carrying the faint, invisible imprint of those who held them before you. You run your thumb over the smooth, worn surface of a wooden spoon, its handle darkened by years of contact with warm hands and simmering broths. It feels like an old friend, reliable and true. You realize that the value of these things is not found in their pristine condition, but in their history, the way they have served, the way they have held up under the weight of daily necessity, the way they continue to offer their utility without complaint. There is a lesson in this, that imperfection is a part of the human experience, and that there is a quiet, profound grace in continuing to function, to serve, and to be present, even when we show the marks of time. As you set the table, you consciously choose the chipped bowl for your own meal. It feels right, it feels authentic. The imperfections are a reminder that nothing in this world is meant to remain untouched by time, and that there is a gentle beauty in the resilience of the humble. You take a deep breath, the air in the kitchen feeling soft and settled. You are surrounded by objects that have stories, by walls that have witnessed the quiet flow of days, and by a sense of purpose that feels as solid and enduring as the stone hearth itself. The house is alive with the memory of care, and you are the steward of this peaceful, enduring legacy. This content is inspired by and adapted from public domain works, available through Project Gutenberg. The material has been transformed through original narration, editing, and storytelling to create a unique experience for educational and entertainment purposes. The sun has long since vanished, leaving the world to the quiet dominance of the night. In these times, electricity is a precious, fleeting resource, often dimmed to preserve the light for essential tasks. You find yourself moving with the gentle amber glow of a single candle. It is a transformational experience. The sharp, clinical edges of the kitchen vanish, softened by the flickering flame. Shadows dance across the walls, long and graceful, giving the room a sense of mystery and depth that the harsh light of day never reveals. The atmosphere is no longer just practical, it is almost sacred. You watch the flame as it dances, a tiny golden heartbeat in the center of the room. It demands a different kind of movement, slower, more deliberate, more mindful. You find yourself hushed, your steps silent on the floor as if you are moving through a dream. Even the simple act of placing a kettle on the stove or wiping down the counter becomes a ritual. The light catches the dust motes and turns them into tiny stars. Everything feels wrapped in a soft, protective cocoon. This is the time when the day's work finally truly ends and the mind begins to detach from the responsibilities that felt so heavy just a few hours ago. You sit for a while at the kitchen table, the candles glow reflecting in the glass of a jar, creating a warm internal star. There is no desire to be anywhere else. The quiet is absolute, broken only by the occasional pop of the wick or the settling of the house in the dark. It is a profound, meditative stillness. You feel the tension draining from your neck and shoulders, replaced by a heavy, comfortable warmth. The world outside the windows is vast and dark, but here, within the circle of the candle's reach, everything is illuminated, warm, and perfectly safe. This is the gift of the evening. It is a time for the mind to slow its restless turning, for the thoughts of the day to dim just as the lights have. You are becoming as still as the shadows on the wall, as quiet as the air between the breaths of the night. There is no need for clarity, no need for productivity. There is only this singular golden light and the encroaching gentle darkness that promises the deepest kind of rest. You are prepared, you are peaceful, and you are ready to let the world slip away, drifting into the quietude of the night. The world has truly fallen into a deep, heavy silence, a quiet so profound that it seems to vibrate in the air. When you sit in the stillness of your home at this late hour, you begin to hear things you never noticed during the bustle of the day. The house itself seems to breathe. There is the soft, rhythmic sigh of the wind as it brushes against the eaves, a gentle, haunting sound that carries the chill of the night outside and highlights the warmth you have cultivated within. It is not an intrusive sound, but a lullaby, a reminder that you are sheltered, tucked away, and entirely protected from the vast open spaces beyond your walls. Sometimes there is a faint, sudden creak of a floorboard, or the soft settling of the wooden beams as the temperature drops. To some these might be startling, but here they are, just the house settling into its nightly rest, mirroring your own desire to let go. You listen to these sounds, letting them wash over you. They are the heartbeat of the home, a sign that the structure is solid, enduring and patient. You find yourself syncing your own breath to this slow, deliberate rhythm, in and out, deep, slow and steady. The air feels cooler now, and you pull the edges of your shawl closer, savouring the feeling of being wrapped in comfort. This is the bridge between wakefulness and the dream world. You are no longer thinking about the pantry, or the rations, or the responsibilities of tomorrow. Those things have faded into the shadows, rendered small and insignificant by the vastness of the night. You are simply existing in this moment of quiet. The darkness is not a void, it is a soft velvet cloak that invites you to release all effort. There is nothing left to do. The fire has burned down to a gentle glowing ember, and the house is humming a soft low tune of safety and peace. You feel your eyelids growing heavy. The weight of them a welcome sensation. Each sound, the wind, the house, your own slow breath, is a tether, pulling you deeper into relaxation. You are drifting, floating on a sea of quietude. Every muscle in your body is loose. Every thought is beginning to fray at the edges, blurring into the gentle imagery of a peaceful dream. You are safe, you are warm, you are ready to let the night take you, to slip from the consciousness of the kitchen and into the deep, restorative stillness that awaits. As you sit in the quiet glow of the dying embers, your mind naturally drifts to the passage of time. You think back to the spring, when the first green shoots began to poke through the softening earth, full of promise and fragile hope. You remember the heat of the summer, the long sun-drenched afternoons spent tending to the garden, the smell of warm soil and growing things, and then the autumn with its rich golden harvest and the cooling air that called for a slower, more deliberate way of moving through the days. Now you stand at the edge of the year, and you see that every season has had its own unique purpose. There were moments of difficulty, of course times when the supplies were low and the uncertainty of the world felt heavy, but those moments were also the ones that taught you the most about your own strength. You realize that you didn't just survive those seasons, you lived through them with grace and intention. You learned how to adapt, how to cherish the small things, and how to find beauty in the most unexpected places. This, you realize, is the true meaning of the year's journey. It wasn't about the abundance or the lack of it, but about the resilience you discovered within yourself, nurtured by the quiet, daily rhythms of your home. You feel a profound sense of gratitude. You are grateful for the warmth of the fire, for the sturdy roof above your head, and for the simple, honest work that filled your hands and your days. You are grateful for the quiet moments shared with neighbors, for the wisdom tucked away in the pages of your family's old recipes, and for the simple, grounding beauty of the natural world. Everything that happened, every challenge and every triumph, has led you to this moment of stillness. You are not the same person you were at the beginning of the year, and that is a beautiful thing. The room is silent now, save for the faint occasional crackle of the wood in the stove. You feel a deep, abiding peace settling into your very bones. The worries of the past have lost their edge, and the anxieties of the future seem a distant, unimportant concern. You are here, in this moment, entirely whole and entirely content. You let your thoughts drift like slow summer clouds across a wide blue sky, losing their shape and their weight until there is nothing left but the feeling of being calm, present, and ready for the rest that the night has waiting for you. As the last traces of the fire fade to a soft pulsating glow, your mind turns gently toward the dawn that will inevitably arrive. There is no urgency in this thought, no burden of planning or calculating. Instead, there is a quiet, restful trust. You know that when the morning light touches the windowsill, the world will begin its cycle once more. You know that the kitchen will be there, waiting for your gentle touch, and that the simple, honest rhythm of life will continue in its steady, reassuring way. There is a profound comfort in this knowledge. You do not need to hold the weight of the world on your shoulders tonight. You imagine the early morning light, pale, soft and gold, creeping across the floorboards. You imagine the stillness of the house before the world wakes, the cool air of the morning, and the quiet ritual of lighting the stove once more. It is a cycle of renewal, a daily opportunity to start fresh, to find beauty in the mundane, and to infuse the household with the warmth of intention. You feel a sense of lightness, as if the very air around you is supporting your rest. The day's tasks are done, the lessons are learned, and the foundation for tomorrow is already laid. You are not leaving anything unfinished. You have lived this day as fully and as gently as you could, and that is enough. The act of preparation for tomorrow is already complete in the simple fact that you are ready to rest. You let your body sink deeper into the comfort of your surroundings, feeling the tension evaporate from your limbs. There is no need for anything else. The silence of the house is your companion, the darkness is your blanket, and the peace in your heart is your guide. Take one final, slow breath, feeling the air fill your lungs, and then slowly, effortlessly release. With each exhalation, you let go of the last remnants of the day. You are drifting now, moving toward the edge of wakefulness, ready to step into the gentle, restorative embrace of sleep. Everything is in its place. Everything is quiet. Everything is enough. Let your thoughts continue to dissolve, fading into the soft velvet dark as you surrender fully to the quiet, ancient rhythm of the night. Sleep well, knowing that you are held in the calm, steady current of time. When the evening chores are finished and the house has settled into its nightly hush, there is one final, quiet luxury to be found. You walk over to the small wooden shelf by the fireplace and pull down a book. It is an old, weathered volume, its binding soft from years of use, the pages holding that specific comforting scent of aged paper and dried ink. In a world where so much is uncertain and changing, the stories within these pages offer a different kind of reality, one that is static, reliable, and deeply soothing. You sit in your chair, the wool blanket tucked securely around you, and open the book to a familiar page. The fire in the hearth has burned down to a steady rhythmic pulse of glowing coals. It provides just enough light to follow the lines of text, casting a warm, flickering aura that makes the act of reading feel like a secret, private ceremony. You aren't reading to rush through the plot or to absorb information. You're reading to inhabit the pace of a different time. As your eyes trace the words, your mind begins to stretch, expanding beyond the confines of your kitchen and your daily concerns. You are traveling, yet you are perfectly still. You are learning, yet your heart remains calm and untroubled. There is a profound meditative quality to reading in this way. It is a slow, tactile experience. You feel the weight of the book in your hands, the texture of the paper against your fingertips, and the gentle rhythmic turning of the pages. Each sentence is a breath, each paragraph a heartbeat. You find yourself absorbed, not by the drama of the outside world, but by the subtle descriptive details of the story. The way the light filters through an old window, the scent of lavender in a garden long ago, the sound of rain on a distant roof. These details ground you, anchoring your attention in a place of beauty and tranquility. As the minutes pass, the outside world grows dimmer, and your connection to the present moment becomes increasingly fluid. You aren't just an observer, you are a participant in the quietude. The anxieties of the day, the lists of things to do, the weights you have been carrying, they all dissolve into the narrative, rendered powerless by the simple, unwavering focus of your attention. You feel your eyelids beginning to flutter, the words on the page blurring into a soft, inviting haze. The book feels heavy in your lap, a warm and comforting weight, and you realize that you are ready to let the story end for the night and to begin your own journey into the gentle, restorative landscape of sleep. In the far corner of the kitchen, resting on a sturdy oak shelf, sits the wireless. It is a substantial, beautiful piece of equipment, its casing polished to a soft sheen by years of careful tending. Tonight you reach out and turn the dial. There is a satisfying mechanical click, followed by the faint static hiss that acts as the overture to the evening's music. You turn the knob with the lightest touch, searching through the quiet waves of the airwaves, until suddenly a clear, shimmering melody emerges. It is a piece of classical music, a slow, melodic composition for a single cello, its notes deep, resonant, and profoundly calming. The music fills the kitchen, not with volume, but with a presence that feels almost physical. It curls around the corners of the room, softening the hard edges of the cupboards and the stove. As the cello weaves its slow, rhythmic song, you find your own breathing mirroring its cadence. The notes rise and fall like the tide, steady and inevitable. It is as if the air itself has become a conductor, guiding your heart rate to a slower, more tranquil pace. There is no urgency in this music, only a deep, abiding sense of belonging. It speaks of a time when beauty was a necessary balm, a way to bridge the gaps between souls. You lean back, closing your eyes, and let the music wash over you. You aren't listening to the technical skill of the performer, you are listening to the emotion, the slow, deliberate expression of a thought that needs no words. It is a dialogue between the past and the present, a reminder that human creativity has always sought to soothe, to elevate, and to bring peace to the listener. The static of the world, the worries, the news, the demands of the day is entirely absent here. There is only the resonance of the string, the vibration in the air, and the feeling of being completely and utterly at rest. The house feels different under this musical canopy. It feels softer, warmer and more intimate. You are surrounded by the legacy of these sounds, a continuity that stretches back through time. You feel a deep, quiet gratitude for the existence of such beauty. As the music continues its slow, hypnotic journey, you find yourself drifting further away from the conscious mind. The notes seem to blur together, becoming a soft, fluid stream of sound that carries you toward the borders of sleep. You are safe. You are warm, and you are surrounded by a melody that is as gentle and restorative as the night itself. The final act of the day is always the simplest. You move toward the stove, where the kettle has been waiting, filled with fresh, cool water. As you light the burner, the soft blue flame dances into life, a small, controlled sun that begins to work its magic. You stand for a moment watching the water ripple as it starts to heat. There is a quiet, profound expectation in this process. You select a simple mug, perhaps the one with the slight crack near the handle that fits your thumb perfectly, and place a pinch of dried leaves into an infuser. These are small, deliberate movements, practiced and deeply familiar. You watch as the water begins to steam, the vapor rising in ethereal, slow-moving curls that dissipate into the cool air of the kitchen. There is no rush. Tonight, time feels like it has stretched out, becoming thin and translucent. When the water finally reaches the perfect temperature, you pour it slowly over the leaves. The aroma rises immediately, earthy, grassy, and warm, a scent that instantly triggers a sense of relief in your nervous system. You let the tea steep, watching the colour deepen from pale gold to a rich, soothing amber. It is a quiet, unfolding transformation, a visual representation of the day slowly coming to a peaceful close. Holding the warm mug between your palms, you feel the heat seep into your skin, radiating through your hands and up into your shoulders. The sensation is grounding, a physical reminder that you are here, you are present, and you are being taken care of by the simple act of nurturing yourself. You take a slow, cautious sip. The taste is subtle, clean, and perfectly warming. It is a humble liquid, yet it feels like the most luxurious reward for a day well lived. As the warmth settles in your chest, you feel a final, gentle release of all remaining tension in your body. The kitchen is quiet, the light is dim, and the house is settled into its nightly slumber. You take another sip, letting the warmth linger on your tongue. You have come to the end of your tasks, the end of your planning, and the end of your day. Everything has been attended to. Everything is in order. You stand for a moment in the soft, tranquil dark, feeling the weight of the day lift away completely. There is nothing left to do, nowhere else to be, and nothing to worry about. You are ready to step out of this sanctuary, carrying this quiet, amber warmth into the deepest reaches of the night. The kitchen has quieted completely, the shadows now long and silvery, stretched across the floor by the soft, steady luminescence of the moon. Outside, the world is bathed in a cool, pearlescent glow, and this light, filtered through the glass of the window, turns the familiar surfaces of your kitchen into something dreamlike and ethereal. The ceramic jars, the wooden table, the worn linens, everything is softened, kissed by a light that feels ancient and profoundly patient. You stand at the window for a moment, simply watching the moon as it hangs in the deep indigo sky, a silent guardian of the night. This is a different kind of illumination. Unlike the flickering flame of the candle or the warmth of the stove, the moonlight feels cool and expansive. It invites the mind to wander, to let go of the small terrestrial concerns of the day and instead align itself with the slow, eternal movement of the stars. You feel a sense of harmony as the silver light touches the countertop, illuminating the grain of the wood in a way you hadn't noticed before. It is as if the kitchen has revealed a hidden, nighttime beauty, a side of itself that only exists when the rest of the world has closed its eyes. You don't need to do anything at all. The moonlight does the work for you, gently washing away the residue of your thoughts, thinning the veil between reality and the world of dreams. You feel as though you are floating in this space, held in the quiet suspension of the midnight hour. The air is still, the silence is absolute, and the feeling of peace is so thick it is almost tangible. Everything is simplified, everything is stripped of its daytime urgency. You are merely a quiet observer in a world that has decided to rest, a part of the grand, gentle unfolding of the night. As you turn away from the window, the silver light seems to follow you, a comforting companion in the dark. Your movements are slow, fluid, and entirely effortless. The house feels like a sanctuary, a place where time has paused and nothing is required of you but to breathe and to be. You feel the heavy, welcome pull of slumber, a magnetic force that is guiding you toward your bed. The kitchen will remain here, watched over by the moon, waiting for the morning's return, but for now the cycle is complete. You have arrived at the edge of the stillness, and you're ready to slip into the deep, dark, and beautiful embrace of the night. As you finally leave the kitchen behind and move toward the quiet sanctuary of your rest, your mind begins to wander, seeking a place of even greater stillness. You find yourself drifting into a dream, a memory perhaps, or an invention of the mind, where you are walking through a vast rolling meadow at the height of summer. The air here is warm, seasoned with the sweet, honeyed scent of wild grasses and clover. The sun is a gentle golden presence, high in a sky of endless soft blue. There is no urgency here, no need to measure, no need to plan. There is only the rhythm of your own slow, steady walking. Around you the tall grasses sway in a gentle, rhythmic dance, a soft whispering sound that mimics the calming sigh of the tide. You reach out, your fingertips brushing against the feathery heads of wildflowers, feeling their delicate, life-filled texture. Everything is vibrant, yet everything is still. The world feels expansive, open, and entirely welcoming. You are not searching for anything, you have already arrived. You find a patch of shade beneath the wide, spreading branches of an ancient oak, and you sit down, feeling the earth beneath you, cool and firm and supportive. You close your eyes, and in the dream you listen. You hear the faint, distant hum of bees, a soft, vibrating drone that seems to harmonize with the beating of your own heart. You hear the breeze as it travels across the miles of open field, a cooling, traveling breath that carries away the last traces of your day. Every breath you take is deeper than the last. Every sensation is softer, more blurred, more dreamlike. You are becoming part of the landscape, woven into the fabric of the summer afternoon, perfectly safe, perfectly at peace, and perfectly content. The landscape begins to dissolve into a soft, hazy gold, a gentle mist that signals the transition into a deeper state of rest. The fields, the sky, the warmth of the sun, they all begin to fade, leaving you in a space that is quiet, dark, and profoundly restorative. You are no longer walking, you are drifting, you are no longer thinking, you are simply existing. The world of the kitchen, the world of the ration books, the world of the day's labour, all of it has been left behind, replaced by this final beautiful sense of stillness. You are sinking slowly and softly into the quiet, welcoming depths of a deep, dreamless sleep. The house has settled into a rhythm of absolute stillness, save for the heart of the kitchen, the hearth. Even as the fire burns low, it remains a vibrant, living presence. You sit for a moment before the glowing coals, listening to the soft, rhythmic popping of the wood as it slowly transforms into ash. It is a slow, ancient sound, the crackle and the pop, the faint hiss of sap turning to steam, the whisper of embers shifting and falling. It is a language of heat and light, a symphony of survival that has comforted humanity since the first hearth was built. You find yourself fascinated by the intricate life of the fire. A spark leaps upward, dancing for a fraction of a second before vanishing into the darkness of the chimney. The glow of the coals shifts from a deep, intense crimson to a soft, pulsating orange, then to the delicate, dusty grey of cooling wood. There is no pattern, yet it is perfectly ordered, a natural cycle of consumption and calm. You watch the flickering reflections play across the familiar walls, the shadows stretching and retreating, painting the room in shades of charcoal and gold. This sound, the crackle, the soft thud of a falling coal becomes the only thing that exists in your world. It is a heartbeat, steady and reassuring. It reminds you that no matter how cold the night may be outside, or how unpredictable the world feels, there is warmth here, there is safety here. You are anchored by this quiet domestic song. Each sound is a signal for your body to relax, a cue for your mind to let go of its remaining grip on the day. Your eyes trace the patterns in the embers, your eyelids growing heavier with every soft pop of the wood. The fire is telling you that the day's work is complete. It has given its light, its heat, and now it is giving its final quiet service, the gift of total relaxation. You feel a sense of profound harmony, a realization that you are exactly where you belong. The outside world is forgotten, the darkness is welcomed, and the room is filled with a peace that feels like a soft woolen blanket. You are safe, you are warm, you are ready to let the fire fade into a gentle, glowing memory as you finally surrender to the deep, silent promise of the night. As you move to clear the table one last time before resting, your hands brush against the fabric of the tablecloth. It is thick, woven from sturdy thread, and even in the dim light you can trace the faint, intricate patterns of embroidery along the edges. These are not merely decorative stitches, they are a map of someone else's devotion. You imagine the hands that worked this cloth, perhaps a mother or a grandmother sitting by the window in the fading afternoon light, needle moving in a steady, rhythmic dance. Every stitch was a deliberate act of care, a way to make the home feel more whole, more beautiful, and more enduring. The fabric feels soft beneath your touch, a texture that has been refined by decades of use and countless washings. There is something deeply grounding about holding an object that has survived so many years. It has witnessed family gatherings, quiet solitary meals, and the slow unfolding of seasons. It has been a silent participant in the lives of those who came before you. To use this cloth is to continue that lineage of care. You're not just laying a table, you're maintaining a tradition, keeping alive the spirit of those who understood that a home is built not only of wood and stone, but of these small, loving contributions. You run your thumb over a particularly delicate floral pattern. The thread has worn thin in places, a testament to the passage of time, yet it holds fast. There is no desire to hide these signs of age, they are part of the story. You realize that you too are leaving your own imprint on this house, through the quiet work you do each day. Like the stitcher of this cloth, you are weaving your own thread into the larger tapestry of the family's history. It is a humble, quiet endeavor, but one that carries weight and significance. You are keeping the hearth warm, the table set, and the memory of love alive. Folding the cloth with careful, deliberate movements, you feel a surge of quiet contentment. The room seems to sigh in acknowledgement, the shadows deepening around you in a comforting embrace. There is no noise, no urgency, and no demand. Only the soft texture of the fabric in your hands and the steady, reliable presence of the home around you. You are part of an unbroken chain of care, a link in a long, beautiful line of those who found joy in the simple, necessary labor of loving their home. With the cloth folded and the table clear, the space is prepared for the morning, and you are prepared for the stillness of the night. Finally, you reach for the wick of the last candle. With a gentle, deliberate pinch, you extinguish the flame. The thin ribbon of smoke rises for a moment, a fleeting, ghost-like trail before vanishing into the cool, still air. The room is instantly transformed. The soft amber glow that defined your evening is gone, replaced by the profound, velvet embrace of darkness. At first your eyes adjust to the absence of light, and you wait, allowing the stillness to settle deep into the room. This is not a void, it is a sanctuary. In this total quiet, you realize that the darkness is not empty. It is full of rest, full of peace, and full of the quiet promise of tomorrow. You stand for a moment in the silence, feeling the world beyond these walls fall away. The darkness acts like a soft, heavy curtain, shielding you from everything that is not immediate, not necessary, or not nurturing. You don't need to see the edges of the room to know that you are safe. Every corner, every shadow, every familiar object in this kitchen is a friend that knows you, holds you, and keeps you. There is no need to watch, no need to navigate, and no need to perform. You are simply present, enveloped in a space where you can finally, completely, release the weight of the day. Your breath begins to slow, falling into a natural, rhythmic pattern that matches the stillness of the house. You feel the coolness of the air on your skin, a refreshing, crisp sensation that makes the warmth you have cultivated inside feel even more precious. You are tucked away, sheltered from the vastness of the night, existing in this small, perfectly contained bubble of safety. The darkness invites you to stop thinking, to stop planning, and to simply exist. You feel your muscles sinking, your limbs becoming heavy, and your thoughts slowing to the gentle rhythmic cadence of a lullaby. There is a profound meditative beauty in this surrender. You are letting go of the control you held throughout the day, trusting the night to hold you in return. The silence is absolute, a peaceful sea in which you are beginning to drift. You are ready. The darkness is your blanket, the silence is your guide, and the rest you are about to find is the final well-deserved reward for the day's journey. Everything has been put in order, everything has been cared for, and now, at last, it is time for you to be cared for as well. You let yourself drift, sinking into the velvet, restorative dark, and finding the deepest, most gentle peace you have ever known. In the deep quiet of the house, where the dark feels as soft and protective as a folded quilt, your mind begins to wander, freed from the constraints of the present. Memories, long held in the quiet corners of your heart, begin to surface like gentle ripples on a still, sunlit pond. You are a child again, in a space that feels vast and infinite in its safety. Perhaps it is the memory of a summer afternoon in a sun-dappled garden, where the air was filled with the drowsy hum of bees and the scent of warm, damp earth. Or perhaps it is the sound of a distant soft rain tapping against a roof you once knew, a sound that always promised rest and long, unbroken nights. You see these images with a clarity that is dreamlike and hazy, softened by the passage of time. You remember the feeling of absolute belonging, the comfort of a hand in yours, the hushed, melodic voice of someone reading a story by the fire, or the simple, unhurried delight of watching a single butterfly drift across a field of tall, swaying grass. These memories are not heavy, they are light, airy, and warm. They don't demand anything of you, they don't require you to be anything other than exactly who you are. They are a treasure trove of peace, a hidden reservoir of calm that you carry within you, always. As you dwell in these memories, you realize that the sense of safety you felt then is the same sense of safety that surrounds you now. You have always been cared for, always been held, always been part of a cycle of love that is as enduring as the seasons. The transition from that time to this is seamless, a smooth, flowing river that leads you toward the same quiet harbor. The worries of adulthood, the rationing, the tasks, the weight of the world seem to dissolve entirely, leaving only the pure golden glow of these early untroubled days. You feel a deep, gentle smile form on your lips, an involuntary response to the sweetness of the recollection. Every muscle in your body is loose, draped like soft cloth against your rest. The rhythm of your breathing is slow, steady, and profound. You are drifting, not away from yourself, but toward the very core of your own peace. The memories are like stars in the dark, guiding you gently, surely toward the threshold of sleep. You are safe, you are held, and you are ready to let the night wrap its arms around you, carrying you into the deep, soft, and silent beauty of your dreams. Outside, beyond the quiet walls of your home, the world is moving through its own gentle cycle of release. The autumn air carries a crisp, cool message, and the trees have begun their slow, intentional process of letting go. One by one, the leaves detach, drifting down in a silent, spiraling dance until they rest upon the earth. There is no struggle in this transition. The tree does not cling to what was. It understands that to survive, to rest, and to prepare for the spring that will surely follow, it must release what is no longer needed. You look toward the window, imagining this quiet descent. It is a lesson in grace, a reminder that there is profound strength in letting go. Think of the things you have carried throughout the day, the small anxieties, the lingering questions, the weight of duties fulfilled or yet to be addressed. These are like the leaves of a season that has finished. You have held them long enough, and they have served their purpose. Now, like the trees, you have the permission to let them drift away. You do not need to hold them tight to prove your dedication. You only need to release them to find your peace. As you breathe in the stillness of the night, imagine yourself doing just that. With each slow, deliberate exhalation, you release a leaf of worry, a leaf of planning, a leaf of thought. You watch them float away into the dark, feeling lighter, freer, and more open with every single breath. The ground is waiting to receive them, a soft, fertile bed where they will eventually turn into something new, something nourishing for the future. You don't have to carry the burden of the past into the quiet of your rest. You are becoming as light, as still, and as accepting as the forest in the hush of late autumn. The room feels wider now, clearer and more spacious. The silence is not merely an absence of sound, it is a presence of deep, restorative calm. You are stripped of the unnecessary, left only with the essential core of your own being, the part of you that does not need to do, but only to exist. You are perfectly placed, perfectly supported, and perfectly ready. The night is a vast, welcoming landscape, and you are ready to drift into its depths, unburdened, untethered, and entirely at peace. In the dim, quiet stillness of your kitchen, there is a subtle, grounding presence that you might not notice during the rush of the day, but which is unmistakable now. It is the scent of the herbs you have hung to dry, bunches of lavender tied with simple twine, sprigs of rosemary, and the faint sweet earthiness of sage. These botanicals are the remnants of your summer garden, captured and preserved to carry the essence of the sun into the heart of the winter. As the air moves gently through the room, it picks up these fragrant notes, weaving them into a soft, invisible blanket of comfort that drifts through the space. You breathe in deeply, and the scent fills your senses, sharp, clean, and profoundly calming. It is the smell of nature's own medicine, a reminder of the restorative power that exists in the simplest things. Lavender, with its floral, sleepy weight, rosemary, with its pine-like clarity, sage, with its dusty, ancient warmth. Together they create a perfume that is entirely free of the day's complexities. It is a scent that speaks of fields, of rain, of patience, and of growth. It is a fragrance that tells your mind, with quiet authority, that it is time to slow down. You find yourself relaxing more completely with each breath of this air. It is as if the herbs are releasing their stored energy, helping you to untangle the knots of thought that still linger at the edge of your mind. There is no need to categorize or analyze these scents. You only need to receive them. They are a gift from the earth, a bridge between the busy world outside and the quiet sanctuary of your rest. You feel the tension in your jaw soften, the space between your brows smooth out, and your shoulders drop, heavy and relaxed against the support of your chair. This is the alchemy of your home. It turns the mundane act of gathering herbs into a profound tool for peace. The room feels smaller, more intimate, and wrapped in this gentle herbal veil, you are completely enveloped in an atmosphere that is designed for one purpose alone, your restoration. The scent is the final layer of your nightly preparation, a signal to your body and soul that the day is fully closed. You are surrounded by the quiet legacy of the earth, and you are ready to follow that fragrance into the deepest, softest reaches of the night, where sleep awaits like a peaceful shaded garden. On the wooden dresser, there sits a small collection of ceramic bowls, the ones you use every day. If you look closely, you can see the small telltale chips along the rims, the fine, spider-web lines of age in the glaze, and the slight fading of the patterns. Some might see these as signs of wear, marks that suggest the items should be replaced, but in the quiet of this late hour you see them differently. You see them as the medals of a life well lived. Each chip is a memory, a moment when a meal was shared in a hurry, a time when hands were clumsy with laughter, or an afternoon where the simple act of washing up became a meditation. These bowls have held your nourishment for years. They have been warmed by the tea you drank when you were weary, and they have carried the simple, humble meals that sustained you through the seasons. They are not perfect in the way a factory new object is perfect, but they possess a deeper quality, they possess a history. They are honest, they have served you faithfully, and in their durability they reflect a quiet kind of strength. You realize that you too have your own chips, the small moments of struggle, the times you were tired, the days when you didn't feel as bright or as polished as the world expected. Just as you cherish these bowls for their history and their service, you are learning to cherish yourself for yours. There is no need for you to be flawless to be valuable. There is no need to be without a mark or a scratch to be worthy of rest. The quiet beauty of these objects is that they are still here, still useful, still warm, and still part of the fabric of your home. They teach you that persistence is its own kind of grace. The small imperfections do not diminish the object, they only deepen its character. You run a finger along the smooth, cool edge of one of the bowls. It feels familiar, an extension of your own hand. The house around you seems to echo this feeling of acceptance. Everything here is worn, everything is loved, and everything is exactly as it should be. The quiet of the room absorbs the weight of your thoughts, turning them into something soft and malleable. You feel a sense of profound ease, a release of any lingering need to be perfect. You are whole, you are human, and you are deeply, quietly at peace. The night is a safe harbour for the weathered, the worn and the weary, and you are ready at last to let go and drift into the soft, silent tides of sleep. The room is very still, and the only point of movement is the tiny golden flame of the final candle. It burns with a steady, quiet resolve, a small beacon in the deepening shadows of the kitchen. You find your gaze drawn to it, your focus narrowing until there is nothing else in your world but that single flickering light. It dances slightly, a gentle response to the quiet movement of the air, casting soft, rhythmic shapes against the wall. It is a humble, simple thing, a bit of wax, a twist of thread, and a spark, yet in its quiet way, it commands your entire attention. As you watch it, you feel your own presence narrowing down to this single peaceful point. The worries of the day, the lists of tasks, the questions about tomorrow, they are all pushed to the periphery, lost in the vast, friendly dark that surrounds this small circle of warmth. You breathe in, and the flame seems to glow a little brighter. You breathe out, and the light settles, casting a long, gentle shadow. You are synchronized with this light, moving in tandem with its quiet, meditative pulse. It is a lesson in minimalism. You do not need much to feel safe, to feel warm, and to feel centered. There is a profound beauty in the way the light slowly consumes the wax, a reminder of the slow, natural passage of time. You aren't watching for the end, you are simply appreciating the duration. You are acknowledging the light while it is here, and you are entirely comfortable with the knowledge that it will eventually fade. This is the essence of your night, to be fully present, to be deeply grateful, and to be entirely ready for the transition. The candle is your companion, a silent witness to your state of profound, restorative rest. The light begins to dim just a fraction, a soft signal that it is time to conclude the ceremony of the evening. You feel a heavy, wonderful lethargy spreading through your limbs, a sign that your body is already beginning the work of sleep. Your eyelids are growing heavy, and the room seems to breathe with you, a slow, gentle expansion and contraction of silence. You are ready, you are perfectly at peace. The light is a warm, golden memory, and you are prepared to welcome the velvet dark, closing your eyes and letting yourself slip into the deep, quiet, and beautiful cradle of the night. The house is wrapped in a profound, velvety stillness, and the air feels cool and clean against your skin. You begin to move, your steps quiet and deliberate across the wooden floorboards with each gentle footfall. You feel the solid, steady foundation of your home beneath you. The wood is cool, smooth, and familiar. It has carried you through every day of your life here, supporting your weight, witnessing your quiet rituals, and holding the space where you have built your sanctuary. These are the last steps of your evening, a slow, rhythmic journey from the hearth toward the quiet rest that awaits. You focus entirely on the sensation of movement. You feel the heel of your foot touch down, then the soft roll of your weight, and finally the gentle lift of your toes. It is a grounding, meditative pace. There is no urgency in these movements, no reason to hurry. Every step is an act of closure, a final acknowledgement of the rooms you have tended to this evening. You feel the structure of the house around you, the strength of the walls, the protection of the roof, the gentle, comforting presence of a space that belongs entirely to you. You are moving through a landscape of peace, and every inch of the floor feels like an anchor. As you walk, you feel the remaining tension in your body simply dissolve. The movement is fluid, almost effortless, as if you are gliding through the shadows. The familiar creaks of the floorboards are like soft, murmured greetings, acknowledging your presence and wishing you a good night. You feel a deep, quiet gratitude for this home, for the protection it offers, and for the way it has allowed you to be yourself today. There is no clutter in your mind, no unfinished business to reach for. There is only the rhythm of your own slow walking and the deepening, comforting silence of the house as it settles around you. Reaching the threshold of your resting space, you pause for a brief final moment. The kitchen is behind you, its work finished and its warmth held in the embers of the hearth. Ahead of you, the quiet space of sleep invites you to enter, to shed the day completely, and to let go of the last remnants of wakefulness. You feel a sense of immense, beautiful lightness, as though you are shedding the very concept of time and duty. You are ready to rest, to be still, and to be held by the night. Everything is in perfect order, and you are finally, completely home. You have reached your destination, and there is nowhere else to be. As you settle into the soft, welcoming space of your bed, the weight of the day truly lifts from your shoulders, replaced by the profound, steady support of the mattress beneath you. You pull the heavy, hand-knitted blanket up over your shoulders, feeling its comforting, familiar weight pressing gently against your body. It is a soft, woolen hug, a barrier between you and the rest of the world, creating a tiny, private kingdom of warmth and safety. You tuck the edges in, sealing yourself into this quiet, protective cocoon. The texture of the wool is reassuring, a bit rough perhaps in places, but warm and deeply grounding. You feel the heat radiating from your own body, caught and held by the weave of the blanket, creating a microclimate of pure, cozy contentment. There is a specific kind of magic in this sensation. It is the feeling of being completely and utterly sheltered. No draught can reach you here, no noise can intrude, and no demand can find you. You are enveloped in the very essence of rest, a space curated by your own hands and built for your own healing. Your breathing is slow and deep, mirroring the stillness of the room. You feel your limbs growing heavier, as if they are sinking into the very fabric of the bed. It is a wonderful feeling, a surrender of the body, a permission granted to every muscle to finally, completely let go. Your head sinks into the pillow, and you feel the last vestiges of the day's alertness fading away, dissolving into the quiet dark. You are safe, you are held, you are exactly where you are meant to be. The blanket is a soft, quiet promise that you are taken care of, and that the world will wait until you are ready for the morning. This is the ultimate moment of the day, the transition from doing to being, from active thought to the deep, silent pools of sleep. You close your eyes, and the darkness behind your lids is friendly and soft. You feel yourself drifting, a slow, gentle descent into the quiet, restorative currents of rest. There is nothing left to think about, nothing left to do. The night is yours, the peace is yours, and the sleep that follows will be as deep and nourishing as you deserve. You let go of the last thread of awareness, and you simply beautifully drift away. Just as you have surrendered to the warmth of your blankets, a new gentle rhythm begins to weave itself into the silence of the night. High above, on the weathered shingles of the roof, the first soft taps of rain begin to fall. It is a tentative, hesitant sound at first, a delicate percussion that draws your attention without ever demanding it. Slowly the rhythm deepens and broadens, transforming into a steady, rhythmic cadence that covers the entire house in a blanket of sound. This is the ancient lullaby of the earth, a steady, persistent pulse that speaks of nourishment, renewal, and the quiet, inevitable turning of the seasons. You lie perfectly still, listening to the way the rain finds the corners of the eaves, the way it whispers against the glass of the window, and the way it hums a deep, vibrating chord that seems to resonate within the very walls of your home. There is something profoundly therapeutic about this sound. It acts as a natural barrier, a soft liquid curtain that seals you off from the rest of the world. All the small worries, the lingering thoughts, and the echoes of the day's activities are gradually washed away, diluted by the relentless comforting downpour. You are no longer in a world of tasks. You are in a sanctuary of sound, safe and sound beneath the sheltering roof. Think of the garden outside, drinking in the cool, life-giving moisture. Think of the thirsty soil, the deep roots of the trees, and the dark, quiet earth, all receiving this gift with silent gratitude. This rhythm of the rain is a mirror to the rhythm of your own body. As you listen, your heartbeat begins to slow, falling into step with the steady, metronomic tapping on the roof. Your breath, too, adjusts, becoming slower, deeper, and more rhythmic. The rain is a reminder that the world continues even when we are still, that we can trust the night to take care of itself, that we are allowed to stop, to rest, and to simply be. The room feels even more intimate now, cradled within the larger, wetter world. The coolness of the air is balanced by the incredible enveloping warmth of your bed, and the contrast creates a sense of comfort so intense it feels like a physical embrace. You feel as though you are floating on a calm, dark sea, rocked by the gentle, persistent motion of the storm above. There is no urgency in the sky, no hurry in the clouds, and no rush in the rain. It is a slow, methodical cleansing, a rhythmic shedding of all that is heavy or restless. You are being lulled, step by step, breath by breath, into the very heart of the silence. As the sound continues, a beautiful liquid haze begins to descend over your mind. Every drop of rain is a tiny, soft note in a symphony that has no end, a lullaby designed to guide you safely into the deepest layers of slumber. You feel your eyelids growing impossibly heavy, a weight that is both welcome and soothing. The world is soft, the house is warm, and the rain is a persistent, loving presence that promises to guard your sleep until the morning sun returns. You're ready to let go, to sink deeper into the cushions, and to drift away on this gentle, falling tide, entering a sleep that is as deep, as dark, and as peaceful as the storm-kissed night itself. The deep ink-coloured darkness that has held you in its gentle grip throughout the night is beginning to shift. It is a transition so subtle, so incredibly delicate, that it feels more like a suggestion than a change. Outside, the world is still hushed, but the intensity of the night has started to soften, thinned by the slow, inevitable return of the light. A faint pearlescent glow, the very first promise of morning, is creeping across the horizon, painting the sky in shades of bruised plum and soft pale lavender. It is a quiet arrival, a secret shared only with the earth as it wakes from its slumber. In your room, the shadows are losing their heavy velvet quality, slowly dissolving into the soft grey tones of early dawn. You are still deep within the sanctuary of your blankets, yet your awareness is beginning to drift upward, rising from the depths of sleep like a smooth stone surfacing from a still pond. There is no urgency to wake, no alarm to break the silence. Instead, you are drifting in a state of suspended grace, caught between the beauty of the dream you're leaving behind and the quiet, unfolding reality of the new day. You feel a profound sense of continuity, a realization that the peace you cultivated last night has not vanished. It is woven into the very fabric of this new morning. You become aware of the stillness, the way the house seems to hold its breath in the quiet hour before the birds begin their song. The air is cool and fresh, carrying the faint, crisp scent of dew-drenched grass and damp earth. You feel the weight of your own body, a comforting, heavy presence that is slowly becoming lighter, more alert, and yet completely at ease. Every muscle feels rested, every thought feels clear, and your breathing is slow, steady, and full of life. You are not rushing to meet the world, you are simply allowing the world to meet you. A single golden sliver of light finds its way through the edge of the curtain, casting a long, warm finger of radiance across the floor. It is a tiny, welcoming invitation to acknowledge the return of the sun. You watch the light as it catches a stray dust mote dancing in the air like a tiny suspended star. It is a simple, beautiful reminder that life is constant, that seasons change, and that every night, no matter how long or deep, eventually gives way to the morning. You feel a gentle, quiet smile forming within you, a reflection of the peace that remains deep in your chest. You are not yet ready to leave the warmth of your bed, and you do not need to. You take a long, deep, luxurious breath, savouring the cool stillness of the morning air, and you feel the energy returning to your limbs in a gentle, rhythmic flow. You are waking up not to tasks, not to demands, but to the simple, profound privilege of being alive. The day is a blank, beautiful page, and you have all the time you need to begin again. For now you remain in this cradle of comfort, holding the stillness, feeling the warmth, and letting the soft, growing light of the new day wash over you like a blessing. The world outside your window has begun to stir, not with the noise of human industry, but with the delicate, liquid notes of the very first birdsong. It is a tentative flute-like melody, a single, clear thread of sound woven into the cool grey fabric of the morning. You lie still, listening, as another voice joins in, then another, creating a gentle, rising chorus that seems to celebrate the arrival of the light. There is something profoundly honest and pure about this sound. It is a reminder that life follows a rhythm that is ancient, persistent, and entirely beautiful. It does not ask for permission. It simply expresses the joy of existence. You find yourself enchanted by the layering of these voices. One bird calls out from the nearby oak, its song bright and sharp, while a deeper, mellower tone responds from the garden hedge. It is a conversation, a quiet language of the dawn that has been playing out every morning since the world began. You feel a sense of harmony as you listen, your own consciousness rising to meet the day in sync with this natural music. The heaviness of your sleep has completely dissolved, replaced by a clarity that feels as fresh and clean as the morning air itself. You are awake, yet you are still tucked away in the sanctuary of your own comfort, savouring the stillness before the world demands your attention. Think of the way these tiny creatures have spent the night, folded away, hidden in the safety of their nests, waiting for this very moment, and now they wake, they shake off the dew, and they sing. They do not worry about the weather, or the tasks of the day, or the weight of the past. They are fully present in the brilliance of the morning. Their song is a call to be present too. It is an invitation to leave the heavy blankets of the night behind, and to step into the day with a heart that is equally light, equally hopeful, and equally ready to sing its own quiet song. The room is filling with a soft, diffused glow. The shadows have retreated into the corners, replaced by a gentle, milky light that makes the familiar shapes of your furniture appear soft and welcoming. You shift slightly, feeling the cool air on your skin and the warmth of the sheets against your back. There is a profound sense of gratitude in this moment, a deep appreciation for the ability to rest, to wake, and to listen. You have been given the gift of a new beginning, a clean slate upon which you can write the hours ahead in whatever way you choose. You take one final, lingering look at the ceiling, letting the bird songs wash over you like a blessing. You are centered, you are grounded, and you are ready. The day is calling, not with a shout, but with a whisper of melody, a breeze of possibility, and the promise that whatever you do today, it can be done with the same peace you have cultivated in the quiet of your home. You slowly sit up, the movement fluid and intentional, and as you do, you carry the silence of the night with you, a hidden strength that will stay in your heart long after the sun has climbed high into the sky. You step into the kitchen, and it feels as though the room itself has been washed clean by the morning light. The golden sunbeams stretch across the floorboards, highlighting the quiet dust motes dancing in the air, while the cool, crisp breeze of the new day flows gently through the window. Your first act of the morning is not one of labour, but of ceremony, the preparation of a warm cup of tea. You move with a slow, deliberate grace, each motion calculated to maintain the peace you carried with you from your rest. You reach for the kettle, the cool metal feeling steady in your hand, and set it upon the stove. As you wait for the water to heat, you take a moment to simply stand and look out at the garden. The world is waking up, still damp with dew, and the colours, the deep, rich greens, the soft browns of the earth are vibrant and alive. You return to the counter and choose your blend. You select the dried herbs you gathered yourself, a pinch of mint for clarity, a small bud of chamomile for the lingering calm of your sleep. You place them into the pot, their scent blooming the moment they touch the warmth of the vessel. The aroma is clean, herbal and invigorating, a bridge between the dream world of the night and the focused reality of the day. The water begins to hum, a soft rising sound that grows in intensity until it reaches a gentle, rhythmic boil. You pour it over the herbs and watch as they swirl in the dance of steam and heat, their essence infusing the water with a pale golden glow. The smell fills the kitchen, a fragrant reminder that life is built on these small, necessary infusions of care. You find yourself focusing entirely on the process, the steam rising in delicate ghostly ribbons, the warmth soaking through the porcelain of the cup, and the steady, quiet patience required to let the tea steep to perfection. It is a moment of pure presence, unburdened by the need to accomplish anything other than this one simple act of kindness to yourself. When you finally lift the cup, the warmth radiates into your palms, a grounding sensation that flows straight to your heart. You take a slow, intentional sip. The flavour is bright and earthy, a gentle wake-up call for your senses, yet it retains a soft, soothing quality that stays with you. You sit at the kitchen table, the very same one where you spent your quiet evenings, and you watch the light grow stronger. You're not thinking about the tasks that await, nor the demands of the world outside. You're existing in the beauty of the present, savouring the warmth, the quiet, and the simple, profound privilege of a morning that is yours alone to define. The kitchen is becoming a place of light and energy, the shadows retreating as the sun rises higher. You feel a sense of clarity, a quiet confidence that begins in the tips of your fingers and radiates throughout your whole body. This cup of tea is more than a beverage. It is a pledge to carry the stillness of the night into the rhythm of the day. You are prepared, you are nurtured, and you are ready to step forward. As the last drop of tea warms you, you feel the day ahead opening up, not as a challenge, but as an opportunity to continue this gentle, thoughtful way of living, one breath, one movement, and one beautiful moment at a time. With your cup of tea in hand, you walk to the door that leads out into the garden. The air is remarkably fresh, carrying the clean, cool scent of damp earth and awakening flora. You step out onto the porch, and the world feels expansive, filled with a quiet, vibrant energy that you hadn't noticed from within the house. The morning sun is just beginning to find its way through the leaves of the old oak tree, and as the breeze stirs the branches, the light shifts across the ground in a mesmerizing golden dance. This is the garden's morning ritual, a slow, deliberate awakening that follows the rhythm of the wind and the sun. You watch the leaves, the broad, velvety surfaces of the hostas, the delicate, trembling fronds of the ferns, and the sturdy, reaching branches of the shrubs, all swaying in perfect unison. It is a slow, rhythmic movement, a kind of breathing that the entire earth is doing together. The leaves turn their faces toward the light, drinking in the warmth, their colours deepening and sharpening as the sun climbs higher. There is no struggle here, no rush to be anything other than what they are. The plants simply exist, responding to the elements, thriving in the simplicity of their own natural cycle. You feel a profound sense of kinship with this process. As you lean against the railing, you realize that your own internal rhythm is beginning to mirror the rhythm of the garden. Your breath is deep and steady, paced by the slow waving of the branches. The tightness you sometimes carry in your shoulders, the need to direct or manage the world, it all feels distant and unnecessary out here. The garden teaches you that growth is a process of patience, that change is inevitable but always gentle, and that there is strength in simply standing your ground and reaching for the light. The dew still clinging to the edges of the leaves glitters like tiny scattered diamonds, a reminder that beauty is often found in the most fleeting everyday details. A small bird lands on the fence, shakes its feathers and lets out a crisp, cheerful chirp before flitting away toward the orchard. You track its movement, feeling your eyes soften and your gaze broaden to take in the entirety of the space. Everything is interconnected. The soil, the light, the wind, the plants, and you. You are not an observer separate from the garden. You are a participant in its day. The peace you feel is not something you have to search for. It is something you have brought out with you, a quiet reservoir that you have filled through your own mindful presence. Standing here with the coolness of the morning on your skin and the warmth of the tea in your hands, you feel an immense quiet clarity. You understand now that the strength you need to face the day does not come from exertion or speed, but from this very connection to the steady, calm life that surrounds you. You are rooted just like the trees. You are growing just like the flowers. And as you prepare to turn back toward the house to begin the day's quiet work, you feel a deep, abiding gratitude for this space. You take one last, long breath of the morning air, imprinting the stillness and the light into your memory, ready to carry the spirit of the garden with you through every hour that follows. Beside the porch, resting against the weathered cedar siding, are your gardening tools, a small sturdy trowel, a pair of rusted pruning shears, and a long-handled hoe that has seen better days. You set your tea down on the railing and reach out to touch the handle of the hoe. The wood is worn smooth not by a machine, but by the persistent, calloused friction of hands that worked this soil long before you were here. The grain of the wood is exposed, deepened by decades of use and the simple, honest sweat of labour. It feels warm despite the cool morning air, holding a memory of every garden bed it has ever shaped, and every weed it has helped to clear. You pick up the trowel, feeling its familiar weight in your palm. The metal is pitted and dull, lacking the bright sheen of new steel, but it carries a soul that a store-bought tool could never possess. It tells a story of patience. You imagine the generations who stood exactly where you are standing now, perhaps feeling the same morning sun on their faces, using this very tool to plant seeds of hope in the dark, yielding earth. They understood that the garden was not just a source of food or beauty, but a place of constant, quiet negotiation with nature. They left these tools behind, not as discarded remnants, but as a legacy, a challenge for you to continue the work they started. As you run your thumb over the handle, you realize that you are just the current steward of this land. These tools are the bridge that connects you to those ancestors, a physical touchstone that grounds you in the continuity of life. When you work with them, you aren't just performing a task, you are entering into a dialogue with the past. You are adding your own small contributions to the long unfolding history of this home. There is a profound comfort in this realization. It means you are never truly working alone. You are part of a lineage of care, a chain of hands that have moved across this ground with purpose, love, and quiet dedication. The shears, too, have their own character. They resist slightly when you open them, a faint metallic groan that speaks of their age and their service. You imagine the careful, precise cuts they have made to protect the roses, to prune back the brambles, and to shape the hedges into order. They have witnessed seasons of abundance and seasons of drought, and they have remained steadfast. You hold them now, and you feel a sense of immense respect. They are reminders that true quality is measured not by perfection, but by endurance. They have been broken and mended, polished and weathered, and yet they remain perfectly suited for the task at hand. You set them back down, but with a new awareness. They are no longer just inanimate objects. They are silent, loyal companions in the rhythm of your life. As you look out over the garden again, it doesn't just look like a collection of plants. It looks like a masterpiece of time, a living history book that you're helping to write with every turn of the soil. The morning light seems to gleam with a newfound significance, reflecting off the metal of the tools and back into your own heart. You are ready to begin, not because the garden demands it, but because you are honored to be the one who tends it today. You pick up your tea, feeling the warmth once more, and prepare to step into the day, fully grounded, deeply connected, and carrying the legacy of the earth in the strength of your own hands. Back inside, resting on the small desk in the corner of the living room, lies a stack of old leather-bound diaries. They are the true heartbeat of this home, silent witnesses to decades of quiet mornings, busy afternoons, and long reflective nights. You sit down in the chair, feeling the familiar wood beneath you, and carefully open the top volume. The paper is brittle, a soft creamy yellow that smells of dust, time and something sweet, like dried pressed flowers. The ink is fading, a delicate brown script that flows across the page in rhythmic loops and dips, telling the story of a life that felt just as vast and important as your own. You begin to read, and the words pull you gently into another time. These entries are not grand histories or declarations of war, they are the intimate, mundane details of a human heart. The frost held the garden tight today. One entry reads, "But the hearth remained warm, and we shared a bowl of broth by the fire." Another speaks of the simple joy of a blooming violet, or the quiet melancholy of a house that felt too large when the children were away at school. It is deeply moving to see that the emotions you feel, the weariness, the contentment, the yearning for stillness, were felt by others in this very room 100 years ago. It transforms the way you view your own life, making it feel less like a solitary journey and more like a shared, eternal experience. As you turn the pages, your hand moves slowly, with a reverence for the fragility of the paper. You realize that these diaries were not written for history, they were written for the self, a way to anchor one's existence against the flowing current of time. They are, in essence, a form of meditation. By writing down their days, the writers of these journals practiced the very same act of mindfulness that you are practicing now. They acknowledged their existence, they documented their small triumphs, and they left behind a quiet, paper echo that reaches out across the century to find you in your own moment of peace. The room feels full of their presence, a gentle, supportive audience of spirits who understand exactly what it means to live, to love, and to seek sanctuary in the quiet corners of the world. You feel less alone. The boundaries between then and now seem to thin, dissolving into a sense of belonging that spans generations. Your own day, which seemed like it might be filled with tasks, now feels like a continuation of their care. You are not just tending a house, you're tending a legacy. You are part of a long, beautiful line of souls who found grace in the simple, the quiet, and the everyday. Closing the diary, you let your hand rest on the cover for a moment, feeling the texture of the leather beneath your fingertips. The silence of the house is no longer empty, it is vibrant with the history of all the moments that came before. You feel a deep, grounding sense of purpose. You have learned that the beauty of life lies not in the monumental, but in the collection of these small, quiet entries, the shared meals, the observations of nature, the moments of reflection. As you stand up, your steps are light and purposeful. You carry the wisdom of these pages within you, a soft, guiding light that will illuminate your own work throughout the day, reminding you that every small thing you do is a line in a much larger, beautiful story. On the workbench in the back corner of the room sits an old wooden box, its hinges stiff and its surface dulled by the passing of years. You have decided today is the day to bring it back to life. You take up a soft, lint-free cloth and a small tin of beeswax polish. As you begin the slow, rhythmic motion of buffing the wood, you feel the tension in your mind begin to mirror the smooth, circular patterns of your hand. This is not a task of drudgery, it is a ritual of restoration. Each pass of the cloth removes a layer of dust, revealing the rich, hidden grain of the timber beneath, a colour that has been waiting patiently for this moment of attention. You work with deliberate, unhurried focus. You feel the cool smoothness of the wood, the subtle resistance where the grain is tight, and the warm, honeyed scent of the polish as it permeates the room. There is something profoundly grounding about this act. When you restore an object, you are making a choice to value what has served you well. You are saying that because something has a history, because it has been a part of your life, it is worth your time and your gentle touch. It is a quiet rebellion against the modern urge to discard and replace. In this slow labor, you find a stillness that allows your thoughts to settle, just as the wax settles into the pores of the wood. As you polish the hinges, the metal begins to gleam, catching the soft morning light. You realize that your own spirit is much like this box. Sometimes, under the weight of the day, we feel dulled, our edges stiffened by worry or fatigue. But just as the box responds to care, so do you. By choosing to slow down, by choosing to focus on something tangible and real, you are polishing your own perspective. You are buffing away the concerns that don't belong to you, and bringing back the clarity, the strength, and the inherent beauty that has always been at your core. The box feels different now, solid, resonant, and cared for. You open and close the lid. The hinges are no longer stiff, but move with a smooth, quiet confidence. You set it back in its place, feeling a small, sharp sense of accomplishment. It is a humble success, a quiet victory of care over neglect. You realize that the entire house is filled with such opportunities: a vase that needs dusting, a hem that needs mending, a shelf that needs straightening. These are not chores. They are invitations to enter a meditative state, to connect with your environment, and to transform the ordinary into the extraordinary through the simple application of mindfulness. You wash your hands, the water feeling cool and refreshing against your skin, and you look around the room with fresh eyes. Everything seems to have a clearer, more intentional presence. You feel a deep, quiet satisfaction in the maintenance of your sanctuary. You have created a space that reflects the care you put into it, and in return, the space is helping you to maintain your own sense of calm. You are no longer just living in a house. You are participating in its life, breathing with its rhythms, and finding that in the act of caring for the small things, you are, in turn, being profoundly cared for yourself. The day has reached that exquisite golden hour when the shadows begin to stretch and lengthen, reaching across the floor like quiet, welcoming fingers. Outside the window, the sky has transformed into a canvas of soft amber, apricot, and deep, muted rose. The sharp, clear light of the afternoon has softened into a gentle, honeyed haze, bathing the garden in a final, tender embrace before the coming of the night. You move to the window, the floorboards cool beneath your feet, and watch as the sun begins its slow, dignified descent behind the horizon. There is no hurry in the sky. The light does not rush to leave, and the shadows do not rush to arrive. Everything is moving in a profound, natural harmony. You feel a corresponding shift within your own spirit. The momentum of the day, the small efforts, the gentle chores, the quiet thoughts is beginning to settle, like sediment drifting to the bottom of a clear pool. You have spent your hours with intention, and now you are ready to let that intention dissolve into the ease of the evening. It is a beautiful relief to feel the demand for doing fade away, replaced by the simple ancient permission to be. You lean against the window frame, the wood smooth and warm, and watch the colours of the twilight deepen. The world outside is closing its eyes. The birds are quieting their songs, and the garden is preparing for the cool, restorative touch of the night air, casting long, peaceful silhouettes that seem to anchor the room in a state of absolute calm. You feel a sense of completion. Whatever you have done today has been enough. The tasks that remained are no longer burdens, they are simply waiting, and in the quiet of this twilight, you realize that they are not important enough to disturb your peace. You are perfectly placed in this moment, perfectly aligned with the turning of the earth. You take a deep, slow breath, tasting the cooling air. It is a breath of transition, a quiet signal to your body that the evening has begun. You feel the weight in your limbs beginning to change, the alertness of the day giving way to the soft, heavy lethargy that precedes a deep and dreamless sleep. There is a deep comfort in this surrender. You do not need to fight the coming of the dark. You do not need to hold on to the light. The darkness is not an absence, but a presence, a protective velvety blanket that will soon cover the world, offering you the stillness you have been preparing for all day. As the last sliver of the sun disappears, a deep indigo glow begins to seep into the corners of the room. The house seems to exhale, a slow, creaking, contented sound that ripples through the hallways and settles into the floorboards. You are held by this house, and you are held by the night. The silence is growing, deepening and becoming more profound with every passing minute. You feel entirely centered, your mind as quiet and still as the garden out. You are ready to close this chapter of the day, to let the twilight fade into the gentle, secure dark, and to step with soft and quiet confidence into the peace of the night. The last traces of twilight have finally retreated, yielding the world to the quiet, velvet embrace of the night. With a slow, deliberate movement, you reach for the lamp. As you switch it on, a soft golden radiance spills across the room, instantly transforming the space into a sanctuary of warmth. It is not the harsh, revealing light of the day, but a gentle, honeyed glow that pools around the furniture, turning the familiar surfaces into soft golden landscapes. The corners of the room, once lost in the deepening indigo of the dusk, are now filled with a welcoming amber light, making the house feel smaller, more intimate, and incredibly safe. You stand for a moment, simply watching the way the light catches the weave of the fabric on your chair and the polished surface of the wooden table. Everything looks different under this light, more peaceful, more permanent, more real. The outside world, with all its vast dark spaces and restless energy, feels 1,000 miles away. Here within the circle of this warm illumination, the only things that exist are the quiet order of your home and the steady rhythmic beat of your own heart. You feel a sense of profound, protective enclosure, as if the walls of the house are a physical barrier against everything that is loud, urgent, or unkind. You move to the window and draw the curtains, sealing the room against the vastness of the dark. The fabric is heavy and soft, and as it slides into place you feel a deep, satisfying finality. The day is fully closed, the boundary between your internal world and the outside is set. You are now truly alone, not in a way that feels empty, but in a way that feels complete. This is your kingdom of quietude, a space where you can finally, completely drop the mask of the day. You don't need to be productive, or thoughtful, or attentive. You simply need to be here, breathing in the warmth of the light and the stillness of the air. You walk to the center of the room, your steps muffled by the rug, and take a long, luxurious stretch. Every muscle in your body feels heavy with a gentle, drowsy contentment. You feel the slow, steady drip of time as it stretches out before you, an entire night of uninterrupted peace waiting to be claimed. There is no urgency in your movements, no should left to be done. You are in perfect sync with the rhythm of the night, a rhythm that calls for nothing but soft breath, quiet movement, and the slow, inevitable slide toward the deepest levels of rest. The lamp, with its steady, golden hum, is your constant companion, a beacon that promises you are exactly where you need to be. You find yourself sinking into the chair, the cushions moulding to your shape as if they have been waiting all day for your return. The light glows warmly against your skin, and you feel your eyes drifting closed, not from fatigue, but from the sheer overwhelming sense of ease. You are safe, you are warm, you are entirely at home. The room feels like a soft, golden cradle, and as you sit in the quiet, basking in the glow, you realize that this is the essence of your evening, to arrive at this place of total stillness, to feel the world fall away, and to know with every fiber of your being that you are finally ready to let go. As the room settles into the deep golden warmth of the night, your senses begin to sharpen, but in a way that is incredibly soft and receptive. You are no longer looking at the world, you are listening to the house itself. In this profound stillness, the silence is not empty. It is vibrant, alive with the delicate, rhythmic sounds that only reveal themselves when you are truly ready to hear them. You become aware of the steady, comforting tick-tock of the clock on the mantel. It is a slow, methodical heartbeat, a reminder that time is not something to be feared or rushed, but a gentle current that is carrying you forward into the depths of the night. It is a peaceful, persistent sound that marks the passing of seconds with a grace that helps your mind to stop racing and start flowing. From time to time, the house itself speaks. You hear a soft, low groan of the floorboards as the wood cools and contracts, a gentle settling that feels like the home is tucking itself in for the night. There is a faint rhythmic hush of the air moving through the vents, a sound like a quiet collective sigh from every room in the house. These are the sounds of your sanctuary resting, and in their own way they are incredibly reassuring. They tell you that you are housed, that you are protected, and that you are in a space that is solid, stable, and entirely dedicated to your comfort. You are not a guest here, you are the heart of this home, and the house is breathing in rhythm with you. You find yourself focusing on the gentle, soft quality of your own breathing. It has slowed down to match the cadence of the clock, a smooth, tidal movement that fills your chest and relaxes your limbs. Each inhale is a quiet intake of the peace that fills the room. Each exhale is a release of the final lingering remnants of the day. You feel as though you are dissolving into the atmosphere, becoming one with the soft light, the quiet hum of the house, and the steady ticking time. There is no separation anymore. You are not an observer of this peace. You are a part of it. The silence is a heavy velvet cloak draped around your shoulders, offering a sense of security that is absolute. Think of how beautiful it is to have a space where you can simply be. In the outside world, there is always a demand for noise, for movement, for action. But here, in this golden circle of light, the most important thing you can do is to listen. By listening to the clock, to the house, and to the rhythm of your own breath, you are grounding your consciousness in the present. You are letting go of the need to understand, to solve, or to plan. You are simply allowing the night to unfold, confident that the ticking of the clock is taking you exactly where you need to go, deeper into the quiet, further into the calm, and closer to the threshold of sleep. As you sit here letting these sounds wash over you, a profound sense of gratitude fills your chest. You realize that this silence is a gift you have built for yourself, a space you have crafted out of care and intention. The ticking of the clock feels even softer now, a distant musical pulse that is lulling you into a state of deep, restorative drowsiness. You feel your eyelids fluttering, heavy and warm, and you welcome the sensation. There is no need to fight it, no need to hold on to the last thread of your alertness. The house is watching over you, the clock is counting the moments of your rest, and the night is holding you in its gentle, silent arms. You are ready to let the rhythm carry you away. The room begins to feel less like a solid space and more like a gentle, drifting vessel, floating upon a vast, calm ocean of darkness. You are no longer anchored to the floor or the walls, you are cradled within this sanctuary, and the night itself is the tide that carries you forward. It is a slow, rhythmic motion, a soft, undulating drift that mirrors the expansion and contraction of your own deep, steady breaths. You feel as though you are being rocked by a mother's gentle hand, a sensation of immense, profound safety that makes your entire body feel light, buoyant, and utterly free from the weight of the day. With every breath, the shoreline of your waking life recedes, fading into the distance like a soft, blurred memory. The tasks, the thoughts, the movements, and the decisions, they are all left behind on the shore, disappearing into the quiet mist of the evening. You are venturing out into the deep, dark, and beautiful water of sleep. There is no destination you need to reach, no port you need to find. There is only the voyage itself, the peaceful act of letting go and allowing the gentle currents of the night to guide you exactly where you need to be. You are the captain of this ship, and your only duty is to surrender to the motion of the tide. The darkness is not something to navigate, it is the sea itself, and it is perfectly, wonderfully calm. It feels cool, refreshing, and incredibly soft, wrapping around you like a cool linen cloth. You feel as though you are floating in a sea of stars, where the only movement is the slow, deliberate pulse of your own existence. Every thought that comes to mind is like a ripple on the surface of the water. It appears for a fleeting, beautiful second, and then it dissolves, spreading out until it is gone, leaving the surface of your mind mirror smooth and utterly silent. You are drifting deeper into the peace, leaving the world of light and sound far behind. The sensation of floating is total. Your limbs feel weightless, suspended in the cozy warmth of your bed, which now feels like the softest, most secure deck of your vessel. The sounds of the house, the steady tick of the clock, the distant sigh of the wind have become the rhythmic creaking of the ship's timber, a steady lullaby-like sound that resonates through the water. You feel so incredibly relaxed that it seems as though your very bones have turned to water, flowing in harmony with the sea. There is no effort left in you, no intention to move, no desire to do anything but continue this glorious slow drift into the deep, restorative abyss. You are moving away from the shore, and the water is getting deeper, warmer, and more welcoming with every moment. The stars above are watching over you, guiding your quiet passage with their steady silver light. You feel a sense of absolute trust in the night. It knows exactly how to take care of you, how to soothe your tired spirit, and how to hold you in this state of perfect weightless grace. You are a part of the ocean now, a small peaceful soul drifting upon the vastness of the universe. The tide is pulling you down into the gentle depths, where the sleep you have been seeking is waiting for you, deep, dark, and as peaceful as the sea itself. As the tide of sleep carries you further into the quiet depths, the edges of your reality begin to soften and transform. You find yourself standing in a place that feels both incredibly familiar and beautifully new, a vast, expansive field of flowers under the soft silver glow of a full moon. The air here is cool and sweet, perfumed with the delicate nighttime scent of jasmine and evening primrose. The moonlight is not bright or harsh. It is a milky, luminescent veil that drapes over the world, turning every petal into a glowing orb of light. You are no longer in the house. You are in the heart of a dream, a sanctuary built of soft colours, gentle breezes, and the absolute absence of demand. You walk through the field, and with every step, the flowers seem to bow in greeting, their stems swaying in a slow, rhythmic dance. The ground beneath your feet is soft as moss, damp and cool, and with each movement you feel as though you are weightless, gliding just an inch above the earth. There is a deep, resonant peace here, a silence so profound that you can almost hear the soft pulse of the flowers as they grow. You feel a sense of homecoming, as if this field has been waiting for you, a place where you can finally set down all the burdens you have carried, casting them off like heavy coats, allowing them to vanish into the silver mist behind you. In the centre of the field stands an ancient silver-barked tree, its branches reaching wide to cradle the moonlight. You move toward it, drawn by a sense of quiet invitation. As you sit beneath its boughs, the silver leaves whisper in the light breeze, a soft murmuring sound like a lullaby hummed by the earth itself. You feel the cool protective energy of the tree wrapping around you, and as you lean back against its trunk, you realize that your heart has synchronized with the breathing of the garden. Your breathing is slow, effortless and deep, drawing in the peace of this magical place, and exhaling all that is left of your waking consciousness. The stars above are large and bright, pulsing with a gentle, friendly light, like tiny beacons watching over your rest. There is nothing to achieve here, no path to follow, no time to track. You are simply existing in the beauty of the moment, surrounded by the glow of the flowers and the soothing embrace of the night. Every thought that comes to you is like a petal falling from a bloom. It floats down slowly, touches the earth, and then is gone, leaving you lighter and more present than before. You feel as though you are made of the same starlight that bathes the garden, a part of this quiet, nocturnal world. You close your eyes in this dream, and the sensation of drifting deepens. The field, the silver tree, and the moonlit flowers begin to blur into a soft glowing haze, swirling gently like colours in water. You are safe, you are tucked away, and you are being held by the very essence of tranquility. The world you left behind is far away, silent and still, waiting for you to return when the morning calls. But for now, you remain here in the garden of your own heart, drifting deeper and deeper into the velvety dark, where the sleep you deserve is waiting to receive you, absolute and profound. The silver garden begins to fade, its colours softening into the deepest, most peaceful indigo, and you realize that you are truly arriving at the centre of the night. Here, the world is hushed, held in a state of absolute, unconditional acceptance. A soft, gentle energy, like a warm and invisible hand, settles over your shoulders. It is the whisper of the night itself, speaking to the deepest parts of your soul. It tells you that there is nothing left to do, nothing to hold on to, and nothing to worry about. The night is a vast, open space where all your responsibilities have been set down, carefully kept safe until you're ready to reclaim them in the morning. You feel a profound sense of trust, a quiet, unshakable faith that everything is exactly as it should be. The cycle of the day is complete. The work has been done, and now the sacred time for renewal has arrived. There is no need for questions, no need for explanations, and no need to prepare for what comes next. The night knows its own rhythm. It has been practicing this quiet for eons, and it invites you to simply step into its flow. You are tucked securely into the fabric of the dark, protected by the silence, and surrounded by the steady, invisible presence of the universe. Listen to the stillness. Can you hear the way it hums with a quiet, harmonious energy? That is the sound of your own heart, finding its true, steady rhythm. You are safe, you are held, you are provided for by the very nature of existence. The concerns that felt so heavy just hours ago have lost their weight. They are like autumn leaves, dry and brittle, drifting away on the cool breeze of the night. You are unburdened, you are clear, and you are ready. The strength you need for tomorrow is not something you have to summon. It is something that is growing within you right now, nurtured by this deep, dark, and restorative silence. Every breath you take is a renewal. Every heartbeat is a quiet promise that you are alive, that you are resilient, and that you are worthy of this peace. The darkness is not empty. It is rich with potential, filled with the seeds of the new day that will grow while you dream. You don't have to watch over them. The night will do that for you. You only have to sleep. You only have to let go, one soft sliding moment at a time, until you are fully immersed in the velvet depths of slumber. The peace you have cultivated is yours, a permanent part of your inner landscape, and it will remain with you long after the sun returns. Now, let the last remnants of awareness drift away like mist over a lake. You are sinking deeper past the reach of thought, past the edge of the known, into the wide, welcoming arms of the night. There is no distance left to travel, no further to go. You have reached the very heart of the quiet, the place where you are most yourself, most rested, and most at peace. Sleep now knowing that all is well. Sleep now knowing that the night is your sanctuary, and that you are profoundly, beautifully safe. You are drifting, you are deepening, and you are finally, completely at rest. Everything is becoming very soft now. The last, faint echoes of thought are dissolving like tiny bubbles rising to the surface of a deep, still pool and popping, leaving only the water, cool and undisturbed. You are moving past the gardens, past the stars, and past the quiet hum of the house, entering a space that is so peaceful it has no name. It is a profound velvet void, not empty but filled with a rich, heavy silence that cradles you as if you are weightless. You have let go of the last threads of your conscious grip, and in doing so you have found a freedom you have not felt in a long, long time. Your body feels entirely surrendered. There is no tension left in your shoulders, no weight in your limbs, and no flutter of movement in your chest. You are perfectly still, a quiet, peaceful vessel resting on the calmest of seas. The rhythm of your breathing is so slow that you barely notice it. It has become a gentle, unconscious pulse, a soft ebb and flow that keeps you anchored in this sanctuary of sleep. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to try to sleep or try to stay awake or try to think. You are beyond the need for effort. You are simply drifting in a state of absolute total ease. The darkness around you is warm and soft, like a plush, heavy blanket drawn up to your chin. It feels like a homecoming, a place where you are known, where you are safe, and where you are allowed to be completely still. Every layer of your awareness is peeling away, one by one, like leaves falling from a tree in autumn. First, the awareness of the room, then the awareness of your own body, and finally the awareness of the silence itself. You are sinking deeper, down into the soft, cushioned center of your own consciousness, where there is nothing but rest. There is a beautiful liquid quality to this moment. It is as if you're being poured into a mold of perfect peace, every edge of your spirit being smoothed out by the quiet. The clock, the house, the night, they are all fading into a single unified hum, a background note that carries you further into the depths. You are so close now to the very heart of stillness that you can feel its resonance in your bones. It is a gentle, steady thrum of existence, a reminder that underneath everything you are, underneath the doing and the being, there is a core of perfect, unchanging peace. Let go of that last lingering thought. You don't need it. It cannot follow you where you are going. Step across the final threshold, leaving the shore of the waking world behind you, and surrender yourself completely to the dark. You are sinking into a sleep that is as deep as the earth, as wide as the night, and as soft as the dreams that are waiting to receive you. Everything is silent. Everything is still. Everything is at rest. You are drifting deeper and deeper into the infinite peaceful dark. You have reached a place beyond images, beyond words, and beyond the reach of time. Here, in this ethereal expanse, you are like a tiny speck of light, suspended in the boundless, peaceful dark. There is no shape to this space, no horizon, and no boundaries. It is a vast, open equilibrium where your spirit is free to expand, to stretch, and to fully release the fatigue of the long day. In this quiet you are being mended. The fabric of your mind, once stretched tight by the requirements of the world, is now loose, supple, and recovering its natural grace. Everything that makes you, the memories, the intentions, the quiet strength you hold, is resting in this soft, dark fluid of sleep. You are not losing yourself. You are finding yourself again down in the quietest, most protected layer of your existence. It is like being held by the very foundation of the universe, a sensation of being supported by something infinitely larger and infinitely kinder than your own worries. The stillness here is not a void, it is a source. It is the deep, silent spring from which your energy, your clarity, and your purpose will flow when the time is right to wake. There is a sense of weightlessness that is total. You are no longer tethered to gravity, to the room, or to the physical weight of your own body. You are pure consciousness, drifting in a state of perfect, serene suspension. If you were to look for your worries, you would not find them. They have been left behind at the threshold, dissolved into the ether. There is only the sensation of being safe, and of being profoundly, deeply at home within yourself. The silence is a song that is sung without sound, a harmony that vibrates through every fibre of your being, calming, soothing, and restoring. Time has lost its meaning, a minute, an hour, an eternity. It is all the same here in the gentle dark. You are simply existing in a perpetual state of now, where there is no future to plan for and no past to revisit. You are suspended in the perfect, motionless center of a dream, where the air feels like velvet and the darkness feels like peace. You are being renewed in this quiet, your thoughts being washed clean by the slow rhythmic tide of your own slumber. It is a process of natural restoration, as necessary and as inevitable as the turn of the moon. Deeper still, you drift into the heart of this silence. You are completely surrendered to the pull of the rest, feeling the last tiny pulses of your day mind fading into the calm, flat horizon of the night. You are not holding on to anything. You are simply allowing the dark to receive you. You are held, you are quiet, and you are drifting through this infinite, restorative space with total, beautiful ease. Everything is settled, everything is complete, everything is at peace. You are perfectly, infinitely still. In this profound depth of sleep, your breathing has become the very center of your existence. It is no longer an action you perform, it is a natural tidal movement that rises and falls with the quiet heartbeat of the world. Each inhale draws in the stillness, a cool, invisible essence that permeates every cell of your body, gently washing away the last traces of weariness. Each exhale releases, carrying with it any lingering tension, any forgotten thought, any remnants of the day, until you are left as hollow and clear as a reed, ready to be filled with the restorative energy of the night. You are breathing in sync with the cosmos. There is a deep, resonant harmony here, a silent understanding between your physical form and the vast, peaceful dark that surrounds you. It is as if you are being fed by the atmosphere itself. Each breath is a quiet, nourishing infusion of strength and tranquility. Your muscles are completely slack, surrendered to the gravity of the bed, feeling as though they are melting into the very fibers of the earth. You are being held, supported, and gently renewed by the simple, beautiful act of existing in this state of total repose. This is the alchemy of rest. In this quiet, your body is rebuilding itself, refining the energy you spent and smoothing the edges of your spirit. The work is being done without your conscious input. You have stepped aside, allowed the deeper intelligence of your own being to take over, and now you are witnessing the miracle of your own recovery. You feel lighter even as you sink deeper. You feel more resilient even as you give up your strength. It is a paradox of peace. By doing nothing, you are accomplishing everything. You are allowing the night to mend what the day has worn. The silence around you is filled with the vibration of this restoration. It is a hum, a low, steady sound that resonates in the deep places where dreams are born. You feel as though you are a part of a much larger rhythm, a pulse that beats through the stars, through the trees, and through the quiet foundations of your home. You are not separate from this. You are a vital, peaceful thread in the tapestry of the night. Every breath you take reaffirms your place in this balance, your connection to the restorative power of the universe, and your worthiness to be here, simply resting. Drift further now, carried by the rising and falling of this tidal breath. You are safe in the knowledge that you are being cared for by the night, that you are being prepared for a new beginning, and that for this moment there is absolutely nowhere else you need to be. The darkness is soft, the air is still, and you are entirely at peace. Your breath is the bridge between the quiet you have created and the deep, silent wisdom of the world. You are drifting, you are deepening, and you are being beautifully, perfectly restored, one slow, rhythmic breath at a time. Somewhere far away in the periphery of your dream, you hear the first soft tap of rain against the window pane. It is a gentle, tentative sound at first, a light staccato rhythm that seems to be composing itself just for you. Then it broadens, a steady, rhythmic patter that begins to wash over the roof of your sanctuary. It is a sound of profound release. The world outside is being cleaned, the dust of the day is being swept away, and you are tucked safely within the walls of your home, protected from the cool dampness of the night. You listen, and the sound becomes a lullaby, a million tiny liquid fingers drumming a song of absolute peace. The rhythm is hypnotic. Tap, tap, swish. The wind sighs around the eaves, carrying the scent of wet earth and revitalized leaves. You imagine the garden outside drinking in the moisture, the soil softening, the plants bowing their heads in quiet gratitude. There is no urgency in this rain. It falls with a patient, insistent grace, marking the passing of the hours with a consistency that anchors your drifting mind. Each drop is a small, soft note in a symphony that stretches out into the darkness, a lullaby designed to soothe the edges of your soul and pull you deeper into the quiet. You find yourself sinking into the rhythm of the rain, matching your heart's pace to the steady downpour. The house feels even more intimate now, a warm, dry island in a sea of cool, nourishing water. The rain on the roof is a protective shield, a barrier between you and the worries of the world, ensuring that nothing can reach you here. You feel a deep, warm sense of comfort, a satisfaction that comes from being perfectly sheltered while the elements perform their ancient, restorative dance. It is the sound of life renewing itself, and you are part of that cycle, resting, recovering, and becoming whole once more. With every drop that falls, you feel a layer of tension dissolve. The patter on the roof is like a soft weight being lifted from your shoulders, a gentle pressure that eases the tightness in your chest and invites your mind to loosen its grip. The world is becoming smaller, reduced to the sound of the rain and the steady, rhythmic beat of your own life within. You are no longer aware of the time or the distance or the tomorrow that waits on the other side of the dark. There is only the rain, the sanctuary, and the overwhelming, beautiful need to sleep. The rain continues its soft, rhythmic song, weaving its way into the very fabric of your dreams. You are drifting on a river of sound, carried gently toward the shores of the deepest rest you have ever known. The rhythm is slow, deep, and incredibly steady, a constant soothing presence that holds you in its embrace. You feel so light, so quiet, and so completely at peace. The rain is whispering to you, a soft liquid promise that all is well, that the earth is cared for, and that you too are held in the gentle hands of the night. Sleep deeply now to the rhythm of the rain. As the rain continues its soft rhythmic lullaby on the roof, your mind begins to wander into the gentle sun-drenched archives of your own history. You aren't trying to remember, you're simply allowing the most peaceful memories to drift to the surface, like soft petals floating on the surface of a quiet lake. Perhaps it is the memory of a childhood afternoon, sitting in the long grass with the sun warming your back, or the quiet contentment of a shared meal with someone you love, where the laughter was soft and the world felt perfectly still. These are not grand, dramatic events. They are the quiet, golden moments that make up the true substance of a life well lived. Each memory unfolds like a film shot in slow, deliberate motion. You see the light filtering through the leaves of an old tree. You feel the soft breeze on your skin. You hear the muffled sound of a distant bird or the rustle of paper, details so vivid and tender that they seem to warm you from within. There is no urgency in these recollections. They exist in a timeless space where you can sit and admire them, feeling the same warmth and safety you felt when they first occurred. You realize that these moments never really left you. They are stored deep within your heart, a reservoir of light you can draw upon whenever the world feels loud or cold. As you witness these gentle echoes, you feel a profound sense of gratitude. You have lived a life filled with these small, precious gifts, and this realization settles over you like a soft, heavy blanket. The past is not a weight, it is a source of strength, a collection of anchors that keep you steady in the present. You feel a deep, abiding connection to yourself, to the person who lived those moments, and to the person you are today, resting in the quiet dark. You are not a stranger to your own soul, you are a friend, an ally, and a guardian of these beautiful fragments of time. These memories work like a soothing balm on the edges of your awareness. As you revisit them, your heartbeat slows, your breathing deepens, and the last stubborn knots of thought in your mind begin to loosen and unravel. You are choosing to focus on the softest parts of your history, letting the shadows of any hard days dissolve into the background. It is a form of self-care to choose your focus, and you have chosen the light. You are surrounded by the kindness of your own past, held in the cradle of memories that only wish to see you safe, rested, and content. The echoes grow quieter, more distant, yet warmer than ever. You feel as though you're tucked into a pocket of time that is perfectly, beautifully yours. The rain outside is still singing, the house is still breathing, and you are still drifting, feeling lighter and more serene with every heartbeat. You have returned to the source of your own happiness, and from this place there is nowhere left to go but deeper into the sleep that is waiting. You close the door on these beautiful scenes, keeping them safe, and slip away into the dark. your spirit humming with the gentle, quiet music of a life filled with love and grace. Now, at the very end of this long and beautiful day, you find yourself in a space of pure, unadulterated gratitude. You take a moment to acknowledge the body that has carried you through every hour, the feet that walked, the hands that worked, the heart that felt, and the mind that sought this peace. You offer a silent, heartfelt thank you to yourself. You have navigated the day with grace, and you have honored your need for rest. There is nothing left to prove, nothing left to achieve, and no one you need to be other than who you are in this very moment. You are enough. You feel a sense of profound completion. The house is still, the world is hushed, and you have arrived at the final soft threshold of your journey. You release the last bit of control you might have been holding on to, the desire to plan tomorrow, the habit of replaying the day, the gentle attachment to being awake. You let it all go, dropping it into the depths like a stone into a still, dark well. You are ready to be carried. You are ready to surrender. You are ready to be taken by the sleep that has been waiting patiently for you all along. The silence is now absolute, a perfect velvet darkness that wraps around you like a cocoon. You are no longer in the room, nor in the garden, nor in the memories of the past. You are simply existing in the vast open space of the present. Your breathing has become so quiet that it is indistinguishable from the stillness of the night. You feel completely weightless, suspended in a state of grace where the only truth is that you are safe, you are loved, and you are ready to dream. The universe is holding you, and you are letting go of everything that is not peace. The darkness is not something to fear. It is the most comforting place you have ever known. It is the softest pillow, the warmest blanket, and the deepest shade. In this place all is reconciled, all is quiet, all is well. You are dissolving into the night, becoming part of the gentle cosmic rhythm that guides the sun to set and the moon to rise. There is nothing to fear, for there is nothing left to do. You are slipping through the final door, leaving the light of the day behind and entering the soft, infinite expanse of your own resting mind. Sleep now in the absolute certainty that you are cared for. The night will watch over your rest, the house will hold your dreams, and the morning will wait for you with its own quiet promise of a fresh start. You have done your best, and now your only work is to drift, to release, and to sink into the beautiful, endless depth of the dark. You are home, you are safe, you are asleep. Sleepy History with Kevin is created for relaxation, entertainment, and sleep purposes. The stories shared on this channel are inspired by historical events, daily life, and real periods in history, but they may be simplified, adapted, or narrated in a calming way to enhance the listening experience. This content is not intended to be a precise academic or educational source. While we aim to stay generally accurate, some details may be altered for storytelling flow and relaxation. Please do not rely on this channel as a primary source for historical research or study. By listening, you acknowledge that this content is designed to help you unwind, relax, and fall asleep. Thank you for your understanding and support,